Well, folks, look who's back. After a 16th month hiatus from the podcast land, Cletus is back in the saddle, baby. And I couldn't think of a better guest to open up my return than the man we're about to talk to. He's pretty much a legend in local racing, some would say. He's pretty much done everything there is to do, ran pretty much almost all the classes that I can think of. And he is one that will not hold back and will tell you what is on his mind, which in my opinion, we need more in racing today. Hell with sugarcoating the stuff. Let's just get it out there. So, Mr. Russ King, what's going on, my man? How are you?
Oh, not too bad. We just finished up working today. And then my daughter is in karate and she was doing that. And then I came back here for this. So, yeah, a little bit busy. Well, why has it been 16 months? What have you been doing 16 months to where you've been too busy to do this?
I know. I really don't have no excuse.
You don't have no excuse.
Yeah, I just been slacking. So my new goal is to try to do at least 2 a month. So I know. Remember, we talked back in 2020 when COVID was going on. It wasn't live or anything, but I think we talked for like 2.5 hours. And if I remember right, Chaz had to keep filling you up or whatever on beer, and I think we talked for like 2.
Well, I ain't got nobody here, Chaz. Yeah, no, I ain't got nobody here, so we might have to take a break about halfway and take a piss break or a beer break or whatever you want to call it. I got nobody here now. Everybody's at home, and now we're all older too. Like, it's amazing the amount of shit that changes in 2 years. All our kids are in sports. Like, I know Chaz was at a baseball thing with his kid, and we were at karate, and my brother's doing stuff with his kids. So in 2 years, it seems like a lot changes. So,
yeah. I mean, I remember when we talked, like it was a good conversation, but I was like, man, you could have had a calling in this. So the real question is, why don't you do something like this? Like the world according to Russ.
Yeah, that is a good thing. And actually, so a lot of things happen here, whether it's like limousines or shitty E-mods and stuff like that me and Chaz or my brother have bought. It all starts with drinking. So usually when we start drinking, we get these great ideas. And one of them was, and I can't show you because I'm on the computer, I'm not on my phone, or I'd show you, but there's a pile of like podcast shit laying over in the corner of my office. And they're like, we need to do a podcast. It'd be so funny and be so awesome. Well, the problem is having someone smart enough to like edit it and put it on the internet and all that. And that's the problem we've ran into. And then that's kind of where it stopped. So, and we're just busy. Like, it's a winter thing. In the summer, all our kids are either playing some kind of sport, racing go-karts. And then with all the stuff we have going on here, it makes it pretty busy. So, but there's plenty of time in the winter that we could probably have some shit talking sessions and stuff like that. It just hasn't materialized. And really now we haven't really stopped racing. I think we were at All Tech a week or two before Christmas. And then we had Christmas, New Year's. And then I was just at Allentown for the TQ midgets last week. And then before you know it, at the end of the month, the kids will be racing sportsman cars at Lakeview and All Tech. So, and then me and Ashley are going to have our son right around Valentine's Day, the first week of February. So I won't be going to Volusia or doing any late model stuff with Bam Bam down there or big block modified stuff. So it just seems like there's really no off season for anyone anymore, and keeps us busy.
Yeah, well, congratulations to you and Ashley. Yeah, you've got a full plate now. You're going to be having another kid. How are you going to have enough hours in the day to do anything?
I don't. I mean, every day Ella comes here after school, and that's where half of my office is. Not even half. A third of it is mine, and 2/3 is Ella, and she plays. But you just make it work,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We got good people around us and stuff, so it'll be an adjustment for sure. But I don't think they can get much worse than Ella. So they're not gonna. She's here every day, and she's pretty wild. So I think he might be the mild one, or hopefully, or I'll have two of them really being chaotic around here. So.
Well, if you and Chaz ever see the light of day on your podcast, I might know a guy that's a tech nerd that might be able to help you guys out. Maybe we should do one like live on location at your shop after you had a couple of drinks. That could be interesting.
Yeah, or live on, if it involves Chaz, it's live on location at the Texas Roadhouse down there with him and Haywood having having steaks and sweet teas and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know. It just is another thing that want to do, and you just run out of time in the day, I guess. So
Yeah.
That's why you should feel fortunate. 16 months, and I made time for you.
Yeah, I do. I definitely appreciate it. I figured if I was going to start back up, I had to get someone that wasn't afraid to tell it like it is. So I guess we better put out there now before we get too deep that like viewer discretion is strongly advised. I promise I'll try not to swear too much, but I can't speak for you, and you get all wound up.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So I guess the first thing I want to ask you is, just to start this off, I want you to kind of give me the world according to Russ as far as your view of local racing, like where we stand, because it seems like it's a hot button topic that you see every off season. I mean, I've been following racing basically my whole life, obviously the same with you. It always seems like every off season, you see all these people predicting like gloom and doom for what local racing is. So just kind of give me your synopsis on what you see out there, being involved with Bam Bam and with your brother's modifieds and stuff. Do you think local racing in a good place? Could it be better, worse?
Overall, I think it's okay, local racing, but I still think the only reason we have local racing is everybody holds on for the big shows, the Lucas Oils, the Pittsburghers, the end of the year, Sharon Nationals, September sweeps, state line shootouts, stuff like that. I don't think it's in a great spot, especially now. And like I was telling somebody the other day, I've never in my life, or at least in the last 10 years, seen so many tracks like fighting each other, it seems like, so like with the deal with Tri-City and Lernerville has been a staple for like the super late model sprint cars and modifieds. And we went up there for the BRP races and crate late model races. And that guy is spending money and having fun and racing. But like as limited as the weekly cars are, I don't think you can fight each other for them. And that seems to be like the new cool thing to do. So I don't really know. And the problem is nobody wants to go and watch 6 race cars or 10 race cars race each other. So they want to watch like 20. And anything more than 20 is too much anyhow, So I don't really know what some of this stuff's going on. And then I think a lot of the people are just delusional, like the race fans, some of the competitors and stuff. They're okay with what's ever happening that benefits them, or they think it's going to be better, So I don't really know. There's rules that different in the modified world that I'm kind of involved in a little bit here. There's a lot of back and forth, and I don't know if it's negative or it's just we're all actually asking questions and getting people's input. For a lot of years, it's like, this is what it's going to be. If you're going to come. If you're not, go somewhere else or whatever, But now I think some tracks are smart enough to ask and see if they want to do something different to save racers money and stuff like that. And then other places are just like, this is what it's going to be. And we're going to schedule on top of people. And if you like it, great. And if you don't, but that's not my job. My job is to work on race cars, take the best shit we can to the racetrack every week for the people that pay us to do it. And that's pretty much the highlight of it, so.
Yeah. Now, going back to what you had mentioned, that's one of the topics I was going to bring up to you, this whole Tri-City moving to Friday thing. The vibe I got from reading the post from the owner was it basically sounded like they didn't really care, because I seen a lot of drivers in there chiming in saying like, Tri-City has primarily been known as a Sunday track its whole existence. They tried to run Fridays before and it didn't work, or Saturday, one of them, but they tried to move off of Sunday and it didn't work. But seemed like the vibe I got from the owner is like they basically had their mind set up and they didn't care. And I don't know if like you could probably speak to that because you're a little bit more on that side. Like, do you really see if they pay? I don't know what the super lates pay at Lernerville to win, but do you think that, say hypothetically, Tri-City would top what Lernerville pays for a regular weekly super show? Can you really see a lot of them guys from Lernerville, like the Norrises and the Shelton brands and the Flinters, jumping ship to go to Tri-City for a few more bucks? Or do you think basically Tri-City's making a big mistake?
I think, honestly, the guys that run 8th through 12th at Lernerville might think about it, because a lot of that super late model is based. I was the only dumb fuck that like drove 2 hours down there every week. And there's a reason, because the racetrack's always good, and if you want to be really good in super late model racing, you have to race the best people. Well, the best people is Michael Norris, and it was Alex Free. It still is Alex. Alex was good. And back when I raced, it was Pegger, Miley, all that, Garvin. There's still a super good field down there every week. So, like, if you want to be the best dude, I used to run Wayne County over there, and they had good guys like Doug Drown, J.R. Gentry. Now this Kyle Moore is going down there and just destroying people. Like, he's really good. But regardless, it wasn't as hard then as racing Lernerville. And that's why I started going to Lernerville. Lernerville is like the mecca for super late model racing, you know? And in our area, don't get me wrong, it was always like Lernerville and Pittsburgh. And that's where the fast guys were. So I don't understand, like, in State Line Erie's is a totally different animal. Like, you're going to go to State Line and Erie's and you're going to get your ass beat by Dave Hess. So, like, don't go. Like, he's there and he will destroy you. Like, there's no sense in going and racing there unless, you know, that's what you want to do to get better at them two places. So I think it's kind of divided there. So I don't think, and Hess back in the day used to come down to Lernerville a lot too. So I don't see anybody anymore ain't going to run 3 days a week because the cars are too expensive already. And then the tires and fuel and blah, 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 like everybody always bitches about. But the biggest thing is the work. Everybody in America is just too fucking lazy now. That's it. And it don't matter, like, if you're racing super late models and you have plenty of money to get somebody to go with you without paying them, you're not going to have crew guys that'll go 3 nights a week. Yep. So I think it's going to be hard for Tri-City to do that because people at State Line, they're not leaving State Line. You know what I mean? People at Erie, they're not leaving Erie. Just like the Pittsburgh dudes, Brandon Burgoon has never left fucking Pittsburgh. You know, Tommy Schoenhofer, them dudes, they're super good dudes and they're really good there. But them guys leave Pittsburgh once a season, maybe to Lernerville, Stampede or something. And that's fine because they're good at there and that's what their budget fits to do. But Pittsburgh people don't leave Pittsburgh, you know, very often. So it's the same deal with that. I think they're going to struggle to get cars on Friday. And I mean, it's just not that the big tracks anymore. It's hard to get people to go to them. I mean, you look at West Virginia Motor, nobody wants to go there. It's hard on shit, hard on tires, hard on motors. Pittsburgh is like one of them unicorns because it's a big place, but it gets slippery and it's not that hard on shit. And it's the only place in America to where you can have a grader. I don't even know if they have a fucking grader. And then they have a water truck that they pull like with a Ford Ranger to get it bump started and they half-ass water it. And somehow it always turns out perfect to race on, you know? Like, that's why I said Pittsburgh always races good, and they have the shittiest track equipment you've ever seen, but somehow it races good. So Tri-City, they put a lot of effort and work into it, but I just don't think the dirt's good, and it tears tires up, and it's hard on stuff. But I applaud the guy for trying, but I don't know if I'd have a dick measuring contest with Lernerville, to be honest with you, because Lernerville is like where we all want to race. Everybody wants to race Lernerville because they've always forever had the 3 big classes. So what we do now is then we schedule some. Lernerville's like, well, what are you doing? So we're going to schedule some Sunday races. And this guy's like, well, I'm going to schedule some Sunday races, you know, and it just turns into, and I don't know how many people are like, if you look at some of the schedule, a lot of modified guys, and I'm just judging from the modified stuff, they want to run like Lernerville every week. And then if there's like a BRP race or something, that's 2 times a week. No modified guy wants to race more than 2 times a week because it's too much money and too much work. So like, and there's probably 2 or 3 times in the summer we race 3 nights a week. And they're not going to do that. Like, we're not, and there's too many 3 days, potential 2 to 3 day races this year with that. So I think you're going to show up at either Lernerville on Sunday, which I would rather go to Lernerville on Sunday than I would Tri-City, unless they have sports and modifieds, and then we can all go together, which is a variable. But you're going to go there and you're going to watch 6 cars race each other, and it's going to be the same 3 or 4 big block modifieds that win, just like it would be the same 3 or 4 super late models that could win. And the same with the sprint cars. There's only like 3 or 4 of them dudes that can win, and the rest of everybody else is just fucking around, you know? So it's not a great situation. As much racing as there is to be had, I don't know if it's going to be good racing. And when it's not good racing, the old dude in the stand says, fuck this, I ain't coming no more. Like, like nobody good showed up here. Like the big 4 modified guys didn't show up here. We're not going to watch so-and-so that's not a contender at Lernerville or a ULMS race or whatever run at Tri-City and win. We want to watch the big guys race at all these places. And people just can't afford to do it, kind of, but more so they don't have enough help to do it every week.
And you can correct me if I'm wrong, Russ, but I always felt like Sunday tracks were always a tough sell anyway, because you figure the working man has to work on Monday. So, you go to a Sunday track, they dick around, you don't get out of there till after midnight, and you get home 2, 3 in the morning. It just seems like it's a hard to make it work on a Sunday.
Yeah, it is a little bit, but like Erie's has ran Sunday for a million years, but the people in Erie are different. Like they just accept that we're going to go there, we're going to have 6 divisions, and we're going to get home at midnight or 1. They've done that forever. But like back in the day, Mike Graham ran Tri-City, and we would run there every Sunday. And I'm telling you, we wouldn't have to turn the lights on in the truck until we were in Hubbard, on the way home, because they'd alternate big blocks and sprint cars, first division. And it was nice the whole time, So it wasn't nothing too crazy. I don't blame Sunday racing. Like everybody's like, why in the fuck are they moving until Fridays? Tri-City's been Sundays forever, So now you're competing with and I don't know what classes I think they're having wingless sprints, blah, 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 blah. So like, if you look at this Lockhart kid, so he's running sports and modified, but he's also going to start getting into crate late models. So Friday at Raceway 7, he can run both of his cars as compared to go to Tri-City where he can run his little sprint car. Well, he's going to go to fucking Raceway 7. Because he can run both classes, even though it's further from his house, but all his stuff stays here anyhow, so it ain't like that big of a thing. So I don't really know their thought process, but it's their track. Like I've told somebody the other night, I talked to some people, you're not going to change people's opinion. If they have the money and they own the racetrack, they're going to do what they want until they financially can't afford to fuck it up anymore. And that's it.
Yep.
So
Russ, we got some comments on here. Looks like your fan club's in. So first we got Logan Roberson said Russ is looking husky this time.
Who's that? Who's that?
I was gonna say last time I seen Logan, he ain't exactly Slim Whitman over there.
No. Yeah, no. We're just seeing how many more raffles he's gonna put together that don't sell out here. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
And what's the next derby?
Big E, we need a Russ comeback. I'm sure you hear that 50 million times a year. When are you going to race again? Yeah. Then we got here. Amen.
Whatever you want. And that ain't for cars.
Yeah. Then we got Big E said again, amen, Russ, probably about what you're saying about the tracks. We got Horvath saying.
Now he's blowing me. I'm like, I feel like all them guys at Lernerville, honestly, like they've always thought like me or my brother or my dad, well, we're not Brian Swartzlander. We're not from Pennsylvania. We're from Ohio. So I always feel like we get a little bit of a rag from like Big E and all them guys, and now all of a sudden he's blowing me. He said, go Lernerville, go Russ, fuck Tri-City. That's what he is now.
If you said you were taking your action to Tri-City, he wouldn't be saying that.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
All right. So what else? We got Brian Horvath that says truth. Your own brother said that guy sucks.
Yeah.
Then he said to clarify, he said he's talking about you, I guess, so we understood.
Yeah.
We got Bob Schwartzmiller at the crying face. See, you're making all these people happy. You need to have your own show.
What about the Schwartzmiller? Don't he have a Facebook post or a truck to drive somewhere? What is he doing on here? He's probably driving a truck somewhere and he's on this thing and putting people's lives in danger. Yeah, putting lives in danger out there,
So we got Horvath said you should have been on Cooter. I don't know if we could handle you and him on here at the same time.
No, because he doesn't know what he's talking about.
He says he's listening
to emo music. Well, he ain't cut his wrist, unfortunately, so it ain't that good of emo music for him.
Chaz sent this in straight from the Texas Roadhouse. What can be done to make racing better?
What could make racing better is, I think what can make racing better is no Burt Jacks, no tents, no rear car covers, no t-shirts, and no Facebook posts. That might actually take Chaz completely out of racing.
Yeah.
With all that stuff. No, I'm just kidding. What can make racing better, I think, is the ownership of these tracks and stuff. Like all the racers are their customers. You know, you don't walk into Handyman and you gotta, what I'm trying to say is like, and they are listening more, but some of the shit, they just think they're smarter than the racers. A lot of the tracks do. So we've been blowing our money doing this for a million years, you know? So like if you just listen to some of them, sometimes it's better. But the problem is they always want to listen to the guys that have a bitch about something that's not relevant, you know? Mm-hmm. So it's a hard thing. But I honestly think no bird jacks, no car covers, no t-shirt, and no Facebook post would make it better.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. Like back in the day, years ago, before Facebook came around, it was like, it seems like now everybody goes to Facebook and they complain about everything. They had a bad night, or this guy screwed them, or that guy screwed them. It's like I could literally be at the track and the stuff is already posted before I even leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of the shit anymore, the older I am, and I hate to say this, but you just ain't going to change people's minds. You're not going to change anyone's mind. Once they get something set in their head, they're just going to do it, or they're going to feel that way for whatever reason. And that's it, you know? So I don't know. They voice about it and do this, but nobody really wants to do something. Then when they do something, they get criticized. And I criticize all of them. So I'm no better than anybody else, but I don't know. I think the biggest thing with racing is everybody getting together collectively. And I'm not saying that about all racing. I think I'm saying that more so about modified racing. Like the crate late model racing world is good. Like I think. So, I mean, Vicky's deal, everything's rush around here. All the fucking rules are the same. They pay good. The cars, I've been trying to make them more expensive, but you just can't. They're like 70 grand for a new turnkey, badass everything. And like, we race for $4,000 to win and 20 grand to win the points. If you want to follow the tour, and everybody's like, well, God damn, I don't want to fucking travel. And it's like, if you really look at it from my shop, like we traveled now that there's no Battle of the Bay, like the farthest race is like 3 hours from my shop, Northeast Ohio. So I don't really know where these guys are like, well, yeah, fuck. Well, we got to take off work Friday to get there. And I mean, besides Cody Doss, it's like guys that live in Delaware and shit like that. It's a little bit different, but I don't know. I mean, all our big block modifieds are $1.10, $1.25 to build new cars. And don't get me wrong, I love the BRP tour, but they pay $2,500 to win and like $5,000 to win the points. So everybody's like, oh my God, crate motors are like 15 grand or something. It's like, I can show you an arsenal that are about 60 grand a piece of big block motors out here that are just as much as a competitive crate late model, you know? So I don't think it's that out of hand. We don't have real problems. Crate late model people think they have real problems. They don't have fucking real problems. Dirt modified people have real fucking problems. And what's worse than dirt modifieds is the E-mods. They have real fucking problems because you run a 2-barrel E-mod for 300 to win and you fucking destroy each other. And then you run an open E-mod and it's like, hey, we're having 1,000 to win UEMS race. And I liked, Trevor and all them. I ain't got no problem with them. And they tear the fuck out of each other for 1,000 to win. So if you think big block modified racing has a problem, the E-mod racing has a big problem. Crate late models, perfect. And that's why, like that Lockhart kid, running modified, he's like, well, what should I do? His dad, he's like, well, what should I do? We think big block, if he wants to move up, he likes the modified stuff. And I'm like, no, you get a crate late model because they're like the same money, they're relevant money, and they race everywhere. You can run anywhere every weekend for regular purse, which is usually 800 win, like at Raceway, Pittsburgh, whatever, State Line, Erie's, blah, 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 blah. But all Vicky's races are $4,000 to win, minimum. So, and it's pretty simple how, they're, and it's like a little mini Lucas Oil race. So people feel like, oh, God damn, this must be like what Ricky Thornton feels like every night, and blah, 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 blah. So I don't think racing has a big problem in certain divisions. If we just quit making divisions would be better, but it seems like everybody that sucks in one division, they said, well, let's fucking make this division so I got a chance to fucking win in that. And then next thing you know, you get 6 cars taken from this division and 2 from this division and everything else, and nobody fucking wants to run them, And now you have 20 divisions. If you go anywhere in the world, like you go out east or anywhere else, there's not this many divisions that we have. And if you counted them all, we have sprint cars, wingless sprint cars, little E-mods, big E-mods, little modifieds, big block modifieds, fucking middle of the road 305 sprints, 410 sprints. And it's like, how has no one figured out that this is all fucked up? And we're all within a 3-hour circle. It's not like this. Like if you go to Weed Sport, you race a street stock, a sportsman, or a big block, 358, there's 4. And then some weird people have ESS 360s, which is like a traveling fucking thing. And that's what you race. Out here, there's literally 10 divisions. Like they don't have fucking mini stocks at Canandaigua or Weed Sport or some of these healthy racetracks, So I don't know. As much as people are like, man, I don't know what to do. Like just look at people that are successful. That's what I've done my whole career. I'm not smart. I've just followed the path of other people that are successful,
So we got Chris Rudolph. It says it's Uncle Rusty. Hi, Russ. Give a shout out to Chris.
Shout out Chris. Chris rebuilds, actually, people don't know this, but Chris rebuilds all our Burt transmissions. They can be Falcons, Brins, whatever. So when we take all our rear ends to Franklin, we drop off a herd of transmissions to Chris, and he's good shit, and he'll probably start racing again one day. So shout out Chris. If you need your tranny rebuilt, get with Chris. What did Cooter have to say here?
He said, did I hear Todd English is going to be a full-time team driver? Was there some kind of inside joke with this?
No, the joke is, so when you're from he won't get pissed, but probably people from Clearfield. So when you're from Clearfield, Pennsylvania, you have Hidden Valley, Hummingbird, some of that other bullshit over there. So Todd basically bought a house literally 5 minutes from our house so he could just stay out here and race his Sportsman Modified because A, he has no friends in Clearfield, and B, the racing sucks out there. So that's the inside joke, So I think Todd will win 1 or 2 races this year. And Todd's going to Florida racing Short Track Super Series Sportsman and then Lakeview. So he's probably not going to win one of them races, but it'll make him better to win around here is what I think.
All right, so this is a question, but I'm going to pop it up, then I ask you a question about the question. So Scott Harker asked, what about Expo Speedway trying to come back? Now, before you answer that, I know your family had a lot to do with Expo as far as running the races. Now, my question to you is, I've only seen a couple races from Expo, and every time I've seen a race from there, it always seemed like they had some kind of issue with the track surface, with the dust. Now, granted, they only ran once a year or whatever, so it's probably not like they have top-of-the-line equipment or whatever, but I did see Jim Ballantyne post that they're looking at coming back now. Is this just going to be like a one-off race? Or are they looking to run like multiple times for the season?
So you're right. It was a dust bowl. And you're right. They ran one time a year because they have no lights. So they have to run the shit during the day. And it was all well and good. But the problem is it's a big track and it's the middle of fucking July or early July. And you're running the dick off of stuff. And next thing you know, everybody's overheating and stuff. And they do it during the day because they ain't got lights, blah, 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 blah. And it just wasn't the right thing. I think if you ran Expo at night, it still wouldn't be that great of racing just because the way cars don't race good at huge tracks anymore. There's a couple like Pittsburgh because it's banked and stuff, but like flat track, big flat horse racing tracks don't run that good. So they're trying to do something to we don't need more racetracks because nobody really gives a fuck about racing anymore. The car counts are like cut in half. So that means we don't need all these tracks for one, and that's being honest with it. But like a place like that, if they want it, they're talking about making it a smaller 3/8 mile track around like the pavilion, but like it takes money to do that. So like if you're going to take money to do that and make it a small track, I'd say I would probably update some of the other stuff on the fairgrounds and bring the rest of the 70% of people that don't give a fuck about racing, make it more better for them. Like, because there's only 30% of us that go there that give a fuck about racing. And the other 70 that pay to get in there to go to the fair, make it more enjoyable for theirs so the fair is more of a success, because there's only 30% of us assholes that care about racing, and it won't be a good race anyhow, you know? So I've heard about the rumblings of this, and I can't really get behind it. And I know they're going to have a meeting, and I'm all for the people that want to do it, but like, you have to use it's a different world than what the fuck it was 20 years ago, you know? And I'm 35, and I can see that from when I was 15 and racing compared to now. It was a huge success once Expo went back to having them races. I mean, the stands were packed, everybody was excited about it, but what people don't understand is like, people die. So like them old race fans, like, they die.
Yeah.
And now all our kids, unless they're kids racers, give a fuck. But average kids don't care. Like Carson's friend, like there's a handful of Carson's friends and stuff. All these other kids don't care about racing. Yep. You know, they care about like Fortnite. Like they want to play Fortnite, and the parents suck and they're lazy and they let them play Fortnite all day. And then they never see what the real world is about. And then they just turn into kids that, you know, do whatever, you know? So YouTube influencers or something, you know?
Yeah. Well, touching on that topic, I'm sure you'd agree too. A lot of these tracks have issues with the show running way too long, because like you were talking about how no one wants to see 4 or 5 cars in a division. I don't think anyone wants to see a track that has 6 or 7 divisions and the show just drags on, because let's be honest, like the attention span of a human these days is probably like the size of a pea. No one can sit in the stands for 5 to 6 hours anymore. Like when you were a kid, when I was a kid, like we grew up on that. So like to us, that was our play. That was what we did. We didn't have Fortnite. We sat at the racetrack, hung out with our friends, whatever. But now it seems like if a show drags on more than like maybe 3 hours, you start seeing people leave because they don't want to sit there for hours on end.
Yeah, they definitely leave after the premier divisions. But I will say, like a lot of these tracks have picked up, like Pittsburgh, they had Santa Claus and car shows and bullshit there I seen. But that's what gets people interested. And the kids are like, God damn, let's go see Santa Claus. And then it's like, oh, they race cars here. Let's go watch a couple times, you know, and see. So there's more of that now, because when I was a kid, Santa Claus never showed up at Sharon Speedway in the middle of the winter or whatever, you know, like, or any of this other stuff. They didn't have like characters and people aside. It was just racing. Like if you liked racing, you went there, you know. But now all the tracks have, some of the good ones have figured out like, hey, we need mascots and we need to involve these kids to go, like bike races, give bikes away, all kinds of dumb shit to drag the kids there. And the parents are like, well, I kind of wanted to go anyhow. Nobody's old lady wants to go to the races. There's no one's old lady that wants to go to the races anymore. It's the guys want to go. The old ladies put up with it twice a month, like race fans. Like if you're not helping somebody in the pit area, and the only ones that want to help somebody in the pit area is somebody that their old lady knows somebody else's old lady that races. And that's it. Mm-hmm. There is no female in the country that wants to go sit in the fucking grandstands in 90-degree weather and get all dusty and get dust on their little eyelashes and all their bullshit. It doesn't happen anymore. So you have to make it to where we're going to suck the kids in. The dads are always good to go drink beer and watch races, and then you drag the old ladies in. So, like, I know Pittsburgh's done a lot of stuff with, you know, like behind the grandstands, whatever they do, Easter bunnies and Halloweens and Santa Clauses and all that. Yep. And I think even if there's no racing going on, when you have that shit, it drags them there and like, well, hell, maybe we'll come once or twice this summer, you know, blah, 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 blah. So, but there's no women in the world that want to go to the racetrack and sit and watch this shit, you know? So that's the only way to draw them in is with kids and dads, really, in my opinion. So,
yep. So Courtney Wolbert, that Chaz's lady, says cart dads are the problem. Is that like a shot at Chaz?
Yeah, cart dads are the problem. That's a whole different, you don't even want to get me started on that fucking shit. There is no way. Like my brother and Chaz, our brother, they went down, and Evan works here, and Tommy is Transfer Tornado Cuts. Shout out Tommy, Transfer Tornado Cuts. Thank you for signing your son over to us forever. But like they race these go-karts. They went to Daytona, and I'm watching this shit all fucking day to see, like, it's like watching the Tulsa shootout. It's like they're raced 350. It's terrible. So then they get out there, and I'm telling you, these kids are crashing and smashing and not lining up. I told them, I said, they officially, Chaz, Joey, and my brother love their kids more than I do, because there's no way I could have sat there and then it rained out a day, so then they had to stay there Monday to race the things. I said, there's no way I could do it. I don't think kids need to get into a race car until 10 after watching that, because they don't even know. Like, they're in there, and they're just like, the dads are like, stay close on them, stay close, and they're spinning them out, coming to green, and they're not lining up, and then the fucking things stall, and I ball bust Chaz bad. And he's up there. He's like, what are you doing? You know, and it's like these kids are 6 or 7. So I got Ella a go-kart, and she's 6, and she's going to be 7.
Oh,
and the
boy.
only thing, so I was thinking about maybe, and it's not like the local shit's a little different, because like Joe Lockhart, his go-kart track, Lockhart Raceway, shout out Lockhart Raceway. Obviously, because Logan races here, so there's a shout out. But he splits the young kids up. So like, and he's out there like trying to teach these little fuckers how to race. Like, hey, listen, don't be killing each other coming to green. Line up, like he's trying to teach them, you know? And it's not totally a participation trophy, but they split them up enough to where it's like they're trying to learn, because it's their first year racing go-karts, you know? Mm-hmm. And this is nothing like that. When you go to Daytona, it's just, thanks for coming to Daytona and spending a bunch of money, and I'm sorry your kid crashed another kid, and you went to the back and you sat here for 15 fucking hours. That's basically what it was. So I think after watching that, I'm just giving Ella's go-kart away. I just gave it to Chaz. He can have it for Kanan. I don't want her nothing to do with that, because her attention span is way short. So we're just going to bypass that for a little bit, you know? So,
all right. So this is from Rob Howe. Ask Russ when he is coming to pick his engine up. Mason Mingus wants to see him.
Yeah. Well, Mason Mingus, he works at Kevlar. Shout out to Kevlar. They're the best motors you can get for 500 laps. And we got a couple sitting up there. I'm just ball busting. They've been awesome to us, and Heil and Mason and Daddy Kev. So yeah, we are going to do that at the start of next week. We've just been busy here a little bit, and so we got cars ready to put them in. So we just built 2 new cars this week for Aiden and my brother, and them are the motors going in it. So we will get them this week. And I was trying to tie it in, because we can make one trip, go to Kevlar, and then pick up cars at Bicknell. Just a big trip, you know, to save a little bit of money. So on the gasoline. So
here's one you get behind real quick. Your Ty Kenneth Rhodes, Rex King Jr. can be Santa this year at the track. There you go.
Yeah. He's been Santa. Like, he's Santa to Karsten, because every day is like Christmas for fucking Karsten racing here. So he's already Santa. He don't have to be at the racetrack. That's his oldest son. Carson's racing sportsman here, and we ball bust him all the time. And Cooter's a good Santa for Karsten, because, like I said, it's Christmas. And then Joey McFalls, what's he got to say? Joey McFalls of all people.
Yeah.
Joey McFalls is the only guy Joey McFalls was actually the first kid that got arrested out of all of us. We all grew up together, and everyone said it was me. It was actually Joey, and you can ask my brother in Mansfield, and his mom had to come bail him out. So I don't want to hear him talking no shit.
Let's see. So Chuck Medved said pit lizards love dirty race cars.
Man, I think the pit lizard vibe is over with anymore. I don't think there's really a whole lot of them. I think they've all grown up.
They moved on there's really other avenues.
Yeah. I don't really see a whole lot of them around anymore. I don't know how to fucking comment on that, because I'm sure my wife will be watching this and I just don't anymore. Honestly, I know I hate this sounds stupid, but I'm busy as fuck at the racetrack, and I don't even see the next generation of pit lizards coming through. Like, I remember pit lizards when I was in my prime of life, like 15, 16, 18. Yeah. And now I don't even know. So if somebody wants to shout out some pit lizards, like I don't know them. Like,
yeah. What about your protege Bam Bam? He got any women coming to visit him at the holler?
So I'm going to tell you the funniest fucking story you've ever heard in your life.
All right, bring it.
So he was saying something. We pull into Genesee Speedway, and there's like a fucking rodeo or some bullshit going on. And then we found out they're barrel racing. And I said, "Oh, them barrel racing girls, you don't want to fuck with them. They're all coke whores." You know, he's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "They do coke and they stay up all night and they're just bougie coke whores." So he's like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And Paul's like, "Oh, thanks, Russ." You know, blah, 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 blah. So as the night goes on, this, that, and the other, a customer that I've had through the years, the next day, actually, it was the double header at Genesee. We won the first night and second night. This guy rolls up and his daughter's there. And she's wearing like a little cowgirl outfit, like a belt buckle, all the bullshit, the Ariat, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, "Oh, hey, what's going on, man? How are you? What are you guys doing?" He's like, "Oh, we were up front. She had a barrel racing deal up there." And Brock was standing there listening. I looked at him and I said, "Don't say a fucking word," you know, because she was a nice, cute little whatever, 15, 16 year. And I knew the guy and I'm like, that is one that is not what I just told you, you know? So, as far as Bam Bam, I don't know. We're at the racetrack and we hot lap, we qualify. Hopefully we heat race. We're in the dash. Hopefully most nights we're in the dash. And we don't have a lot of time. And then we load up and go to the next place or I leave. You know, they do some camping, but usually I go home and then come back the next day. So I don't really know. And it's awkward because he's so young. So I don't want to, I have no advice to give, you know? So yeah, that's his deal. But that was the funny story about that.
Well, I always see him on his videos and stuff, busting a rug, dancing and stuff. So I figured he'd be out there swooping in. All the ladies would be coming over to see him.
Yeah, I don't think they're really impressed by that. You know?
Are you impressed?
No, fuck no. I love it. It's so amazing. Like if you watch that documentary that they just put out and stuff, it's so crazy. From Florida, Evolution, in the start of the year until the end of the year, it's like he's aged like 2 years. Like his brain has not. Like his brain is still not good. But like his physical appearance and his voice, it's almost like his nuts are starting to drop, you know? So he's just grown up so much in a summer, but his brain still functions the same. You know, he just looks more grown up. He ain't a chubby little ginger kid anymore. He's like transforming into a real person, you know? So that's pretty cool to see.
Read this. Russ will be at my shop in the morning. We'll pray together. He's saying you need Jesus, it sounds like.
Yeah, that's Jimmy. He does all the fabricating here because I don't, because I hate it. So he puts clips on because we put clips on cars and fix bumper bungs and all that shit. So Jimmy works here and does that. And he also is an avid RC racer, and that's a big thing around here now, if you did not know that. So yeah, shout out J-Star. I feel like all I'm doing is I feel like all these people are saying shit just for me to shout them the fuck out. Like it's a big thing or what. But J-Star Fabrication, shout out, you know. Joe McFall's Warren Diesel Performance. He'll tune your truck so it can blow smoke and blow up. So
is this a true statement that your brother says?
What? My nuts and checkbook stayed in Daytona? Maybe. I don't know. He was there fucking long enough. His new nickname is not Cooter anymore. It's Mr. Vacation. My dad is even calling him that. Mr. Vacation. All he does is vacation. And when he's home, he's still on vacation. So.
All right. So you were right. Your beautiful wife is watching because look, she dropped this. You guys ruined it. She said, "You guys ruined it for Ella with the Florida trip." Haha. He was all about it until he saw the video footage and the kids trying to line up. He told her he sold it.
Yeah, so that is true. So because I do like my nephews and shit, and obviously Kanan and Chaz and Joey has been my brother's friend forever, and his little boy Joey. So like I don't have a lot of. I went to 2 go-kart races in the last 5 years. One at Slippery Rock and one at Joe's this last summer. And I was like, well, fuck, there ain't much going on. Like maybe I'll just buzz down there and see and watch and kind of, you know, So she's like, well, fuck, this, that, and the other. It's going to rain and blah, blah, blah. So I didn't. And thank God I didn't. It was the best because they're there all day for literally, it's like being a drag racer. You're there all day to get on the track for 5 minutes. And you can't put a person like my brother and me together in a situation like that for 5 days. You can't do it, So it was a good thing I did not go, but I did want to go there. I did look at flights. I was thinking about it. I asked about Ashley about it. She's like, well, it might rain. And do you really want to do that? You're gone. And I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Let's see how it plays out the first night. And then maybe I'll slide down and then the weather. And thank God I didn't, because they were there until Monday night and blah, 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 blah. So it was not something I would have done well at.
All right, so we got Brian Horvath again. Whatever happened to the famous RKR limo from back in the day?
So that limo, we ended up jumping over a railroad track, and the fucker bent like this, and then the drive shaft started rubbing the tunnel. So I think we gave it. I feel as if I think we gave it to Travis Creech, the iRacing champion of the world, Travis Creech. Tow truck driving extraordinaire. We gave it to him and he fucking crashed it or scrapped it. So then this goes back to stories like of me being drunk and Chaz being stupid. He's like, hey, there's this limo on Trumbull County buy, sell, trade. Maybe we should buy it. So now we have a new limo and it's awesome. And it wasn't that much money. It was like $5,000 and we split. Things are always easier to buy when you have stupid friends like you, because it went from $5,000 to like, man, I don't know. But if you got a dumb friend, now it's $2,500, So that's what me and Chaz get ourselves in once in a while. So we have the limo. It's outside. It runs good. We actually took it to Port Royal at the start of the year. Chaz and Evan rode it. Me and Cooter took the truck and trailer and made it all the way to Port Royal. Chaz went and got like a whole stereo system in it. And it's awesome. And we haven't had a lot of time this winter. They were talking about getting together this weekend and maybe going somewhere out to eat in it. But yeah, we do have a limo again, but we roll under the radar. It's just white. We don't want no gang affiliations on it. We don't want to make ourselves look bad here. So we don't have it decaled or nothing like that. So,
yeah. So weren't you the mastermind that started burning the boats at the Stampede, or was that somebody else?
No. So I believe that was more so my brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason I thought it was you.
No, it was like our kind of thing, but like my brother was really the one that did a lot of that. He did that, and then some other shenanigans, and them times were awesome, but like people don't realize that was none of us, I don't think, had kids then, or maybe my brother had Karsten that was maybe young, and the problem is now today, and you can't even blame the track owners. There's just too much fucking liability. I don't even know if Gary Risch did not love us so much. Like I still talk to Gary every time we see him. He'll text me or snap me once in a while. Risch was the best, like he was the best. Like now everybody is so scared of suing and insurance, which they should be, that shit don't happen. But thanks to Risch, that stuff happened. Nobody died. Nobody got hurt. There was no insurance claims. They tried arresting a guy one time for stealing a cop's four-wheeler, and they tackled him off of it, and Risch told him to let him go, and that was pretty cool, So no one even got arrested. But I think the days are kind of gone because it's just a different world. Like 10 years changes a lot of shit, So
shout out to Dave Goebel. He loves the interview. But that is true. I did tell him he swore too much. He was actually on my last show 16 months ago. And I told him he's the one that put an end to the Cletus show. So, but the difference,
I can't read. I don't. The problem is with these comments, I don't know how to read, So,
yeah. No, he was basically just saying that you're talking real talk, but I got on him because he was the last guest I had on my last show. And I told him he basically put me out of commission because he cussed too much. He's saying you're cussing, but the difference is everyone knows that that's real talk from you. Dave is. I guess you and him on here together would be interesting. That might be an idea for like the Stampede or something, or maybe get like you, your brother, and Chaz. you guys could solve all the world's problems.
There'd be no air. There'd be no oxygen. It'd have to be like a casino. They'd have to pump oxygen into the fucking room, you know?
Yeah. All right. So another thing I wanted to ask you, Russ, I know we're kind of bouncing around here, but you had mentioned about, the crate deal with Rush and Vicky, and all the races this year are going to pay at least, I think, $4,000 for the tour and such. One thing I hear often all the time is, putting on the Juke race, since I've done every year since 2017, which, shameless plug, I appreciate you for always supporting my efforts. You've been with me since the beginning, so I appreciate you for that. But one of the things I get a lot of people complaining to me about is they don't understand why, like, super late model drivers are dropping down and running the crate races. Now, granted, it happens at the Bill Emig race at Lernerville. There's a lot of late model guys that do it. You look at that XR race they just had down in Florida. Turbo was down there, a couple other late model
there's
guys.
A lot of them. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So what is your thoughts on that as far as late model guys running crates? Because people say, like, the rebuttal to that you hear a lot is, well, the cars are equal. But, like, you take someone like Norris at Pittsburgh, who's won 4 of the last 5 Juke races, you can't outrun experience. So even though people might say the cars are equal, I would still feel like the super late guys have an advantage. Would you say that's a fair statement? Just give me what your thoughts are.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, anytime that Norris is in, I think he won the Stampede.
Yeah, he did.
I know Bryce was going to, who the fuck?
Oh, Dave Hess beat Bryce. Yeah. He passed him with one.
And Bryce was good. Like, and Bryce was the best crate guy, true crate guy. But no, I don't blame him. Like, dude, like that. Listen, Michael Norris is in the same program I was in. Like, our parents own all our race cars. Okay. And Michael works every day at that scrap deal. And that's like basically his business. And he's blowing money racing super late models. So, like, why wouldn't you run crates and race for more money? So, like, I was the same way with our stuff. My parents owned all my shit. The crate stuff made better sense to race and make money, And really, it ain't about the money. Like, Nico owns the shit. He's married to his sister, blah, 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 blah. But, like, Norris is a cool dude. Like, he gets it, and he's just racing around the house, and the dude is in a truck hauling scrap every day working. So it ain't like, I can't even think of one analogy that's like a super late model guy. Like, Hess works at his deal or whatever. Mm-hmm. But, like, there's nobody that really, we're just not, like, if it's a good paying race, have a crate car and do it, So I don't ever get bent about them guys. And maybe I'm biased because I did the same fucking shit, but it's hard when they pay that much money and there is rules and they do tech. Trust me, they do tech, because I've been in tech lots of times this year, So I don't think it's a downgrade. Like, I don't go to a race and I watch, Michael Norris won, he's a super guy, he's cherry picking, because there's a lot of races Michael Norris hasn't won racing crates. I know they laughed him right out of Marion. I was over at Marion Center for a Rush Tour race, and they literally laughed him out of there. They said, we're laughing at you. You load that fucking shit up and get the fuck out of here. And then, he wins the Juke. He wins the Stampede. He runs good. So, like, it's a version of super late models to where you can be good one night and then terrible the next, So
it just seems like to be like every year I hear it about. I mean, I guess I could see it both ways, but you do make a valid argument, because hypothetically, if the cars are equal, it's not like that,
Yeah, they're not fucking equal. Just like super late models are big crate cars, because either you have like a Rocket on Integras or Foxes with a Clements, Durham, or Cornette, or you have a Longhorn on Bilsteins with a Clements, Durham, or Cornette. So, like, they're big crate cars too, So the problem with super late model is there's a trick of the week every fucking week. So that makes it a little bit tough to help. And now the problem is the fucking bodies that they let go. Literally, you have to unhook all the flex steel to get the fucking things in the trailer. You have to pull the axles, because with the droop rule and stuff, they're all stood up, and you can't even load the fucking things. So our crate cars have kind of been in a little bit of a box, because they don't let the bodies get that out of fucking control. But the super late models, like, who in the fuck wants to unload this thing, unhook 10 pieces of flex steel, have the axle out of it to unload it out of your, I mean, it's crazy, you know? So where the crate racing just, I want to say it's easier. It's harder to a point, but it's easier for the regular guy racing them. And it's a lot less money. You're not going to, people are bitching because the motors are more money and blah, blah, blah. And you spend like 15, 16 grand, blah, 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 whatever. That's still a long fucking way from 60. 16 and 60 is not really close. And I only went to college for like 6 months, and I fucking know the difference in a lot of that. So, and it's not just the motors, it's the shocks, it's the stacks, it's the trick of the week, it's the tires, it's the people. It's all a huge expense, you know? So
yeah, because you probably see the posts like I do. Every now and then it'll come up with like all these people complaining, like you just said, about the cost of a crate motor, that they say, well, around here we should get like a steel block series, but you don't think it's, yeah, because like you said, you're paying that much money for a super late motor, you're still way ahead paying with it. What do you think? Let me ask you this. What do you think if you got the top of the line crate motor with the best of everything right now, what would that cost somebody? Best of the best.
Like, I've been trying to make them more expensive than 70, 75 grand, but I ain't been able to do it. Like, that's the thing. Like, that's, if you want the trick of shit, it's 70 grand, probably turnkey, race ready. 70 to 75. If you want a carbon fiber seat and fucking blah, 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 it's probably a little bit more money, but average, I'd say 70 grand. And for a new super late model, it's 110, 120. Like the oil system, all the shit. And that's one car. And you're not running the same shocks everywhere. Like we run literally with Bam Bam shit. Paul always ball bust me. He said, I pay you all this fucking money and you change the right rear shock and spring and move the spoiler up and down and take turns in or out of the right front. And I'm like, well, it's simple. Like once you have a good baseline, you know, it makes it simpler. And that ain't, you're not doing that in super late model racing, you know? So I think there's a big gap. And then the money regionally, like even if it's 10 grand compared to 4 grand, like they're $15 a lap to ride around there, you know? So for the rebuilds on the motor and stuff like that. So I don't think it's a real comparison. And I think the crate motor stuff too, like they used to be cheaper and then they fucked up and they moved the whole assembly line to America. And as everybody knows, no American really wants to work. Like we just want to get money, but we don't want to work. So now they're building them in America, and then half the fucking things that are bottle cap don't run, and they're missing oil rings. And so basically you almost have to have them blueprinted from the factory because, you know, Uncle Bob that works at the GM assembly plant ain't doing his job and he's sleeping and fucking around and making $60 an hour. Then Mexican girls did way better job building the things. You could get them then literally break them and change the valve springs, break them in on the dyno and race them. So now that they're built in America, they're more money too. So everybody bitches about, oh, American built. And then they bitch that their crate motor that used to be built in Mexico is more fucking money. So I don't know. It's
all right. So I got to step out and use the men's room for 1 second, Russ. I'm going to ask you a question. Just give a long answer. What if you put your promoter's hat on? What was one thing that you would change about crate racing, whether it's rush or whatever? Something you see that you would change?
Wow, that's pretty. Crate racing, I would take away from the dashes, like on the rush tour. I would take away from the dashes because, no offense to whoever sponsors it, I think it's K&N. You get a free K&N $100 gift card, which I don't think buys a K&N air filter. And that's just another time that we have to grind the tires, put fuel in the motherfucker, set the air pressure, and put wheel covers on. So if I could change something about rush tour crate racing, it would be eliminate the dash. But besides that, I can't really think of anything else that I would change because it's a pretty fluent night, you know? Everything is – I wish the tech guys would come around and tech our cars instead of like us driving to the fucking lineup because that's just another time we have to start the car and this, that, and the other. So I wish Travis would come around and tech the cars so we didn't have to go up there. But if it is what it is, you know? So That would be my two things. No dashes and walk around and tech all our shit. So we ain't got to leave our trailer. And then Brock always wants to back in. So now, because that's what the cool late model kids do. So like for all you late model kids out there that like backing into your trailer, you're fucking stupid. Because when you back into your trailer, then your whole trailer gets filled with the E85 fumes and it blows dust and dirt and fucking shit in there. Just pull in. That's why the fucking things have reverse. So you can back out and be done with it, So I'm going to start a trend this year. Do not back into your trailer because it's fucking stupid, But since Jonathan Davenport and all the Lucas guys do it, that must be what we need to do. So now all we do it, and all it does is fuck my trailer up and make it smell bad.
All right, here we're getting behind on the comments here. Let me get a couple rapid. Hold on.
Hey, what the fuck is
this? We got a run in.
Yeah. What? Hold on, you broke up there. This fucking earpiece fell out.
No, you're good. Chaz has it on his phone blasted, so you're probably hearing what you said like a minute
No, that
ago.
wasn't Chaz. That wasn't Chaz. Chaz would be happy to think that was him. That was my brother Cooter.
Oh,
yeah. Chaz is 50 pounds heavier than that. Minimum.
Tell Cooter I apologize then for insulting him like that.
You ain't gonna apologize to him.
All right. So let's get a couple rapid fires here. So Bradley Gill, Uncle Rusty coming to Atlantic City. Is that a yay or nay?
So I'm an idiot. My buddy Will Thomas said, "Hey, what are you doing next weekend?" I was like, "I don't know, probably just dealing with my pregnant wife and kid." And he's like, "Let's go to Allentown because our buddy Jeremy Handercourt, shout out Superior Signs. He doesn't do our stickers. He's a friend of Will's. Blah 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 blah. He does Will stickers." So I'm like, yeah, I ain't never been to one of them. I was one 15 years ago at Lynx. So I went and I was the tire guy to help him. And it was miserable. So I seen Brady there because Brady's a big race promoter now for Evan Mills Speedway. Shout out Evan Mills Speedway, Gilco, everybody up there. And I'm not going to Atlantic City. It was just too much work. Would you have to grind tires with Simple Green? And you're dicking around there. And I walked like 6 miles back and forth in that place. I love Choke, Jeremy, and all them guys. And I had a blast with Willie and stuff. I'm just going to blame it on it's getting too soon to actually having a kid. So we're going to skip at Atlantic City. Even though I would like to kind of go, if we had someone to assume my role as tire guy, I might consider it more. But right now it's a no.
All right, so your brother's there now, but he said, tell us about your Christmas gift T-shirt.
I can't like that. It's too, you can't, you're not going to do that. Yeah. We're not, I can't talk about it. Just can't like, even for my standards, you can't. Yeah. It was from the funniest people. Shout out Joe Lockhart. I just feel like I'm a dumb fuck just shouting out stuff all the time. But Joe Lockhart, Logan Lockhart. Logan's birthday today. So happy birthday to Logan, And they got me a pretty funny sweatshirt. No, don't get it. Do not get it. No one will go to Lockhart Speedway or RKR ever again if you show that T-shirt. So, yeah, so we can't really talk about that.
Then he also said the next group of pit lizards are our daughters. Send Facebook prayers.
I don't know. I think they're going to be a lot of construction workers and tow motor or tow truck drivers and shit like that. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
All right, Chad Brockman says he loves all your advice.
Yeah, well, he didn't love it that much because he says he's the only guy that's 50 years old and still highlights his fucking hair. So you don't like all my advice, that's for sure.
Then Jeremy Cornbow says, is this the same Russ that was the 2024 Rush Late Model Touring Champion crew chief?
Yeah, actually it was. Jeremy Cornball, I don't know what to say about him. He's something else.
Joey McFall says the van was the best part.
So my brother bought this awesome van. It's an Astro van. It's black. And we drove it to South Carolina racing sportsman with Karsten and Logan. Out of all the shit he's bought or dad's bought or whatever, it's like a brand new Astro van that has like the things on the window and it drives like a van, and it was fucking awesome. So yes, it was awesome.
All
So
right. Josh Christopher says your wives are gonna murder you.
she's not gonna murder me because my daughter fucking literally painted a brand new Gorsuch fan. I got a whole box of fans from Josh the other day, and Ella comes here to school after school every day, and she's got paint and bullshit and all this stuff. Ashley buys her, and she's over there painting a brand new 6-blade Gorsuch fan. So she owes me $190 is what basically Ella owes me now. So yeah,
a lot of bad decisions made at the Stampede.
Yeah, the worst fucking decision is I didn't beat Chad's ass after he ripped my left rear tire off when I was leading a big block race one time. That's the worst decision I've ever made at the Stampede, you know?
So you might not be able to tell this. Joey McFall says, what happened on Rex's wedding night?
He got married. That's what happened. You know, Chaz ran a sportsman car at Sharon. Cooter got married, and then I went over and watched, you know?
Right. Your brother said that was you who almost got arrested at the Stampede.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, it's sad when your brother's mind starts to slip, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So RKR Fight Club defeated. This would be a good one. You, Chaz, and your brother all in here together would be gold.
Yeah, I don't know. There'd be no oxygen left in this fucker between them two.
Look,
hero stories, you know.
Chaz is my hero. Is he paying these people to say all this stuff about him?
That's John Coco. He's part of the super team, Matt Williamson. And I think it's just because they have similar physiques is why he says they're the hero, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
see, Goebel, like you're pulling into the trailer. And we got Mark Bates said he always.
Oh, that's my cousin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's kind of probably right because I was young. My cousin Mark went with me, and I won most of my, if not all my super late model races with him. And then Bobby, obviously, but Mark and Bobby, we were like a little dream team. And he probably did because I was dumb and young and wanted to look cool like all the other guys. So yeah, we did back in a lot, but now I'm older and I have to clean the trailer or Evan does or whoever, Karsten. So I'm over the cool kid shit.
Scott Hodgins. Uncle Russ, can you be careful with the F-bombs? My uncle Hank R. Houston Sr. is watching.
Yeah. Probably not. Just turn the motherfucker off. I guess I don't know what to tell you, you know?
How many times does the Amazon truck show up every day?
Minimum. Well, now it parks at the end of the road because we've had some snow. So they throw what's up?
It's a black lady sitting in the parking lot.
Doing what?
Just sitting there.
Oh. They park at the end of the road and they throw the shit by the mailbox because now there's like an Amazon thing. Like you if you don't feel safe pulling up and you're going to get stuck, leave the shit by the mailbox. So I told this guy, I was like, just fucking drive up there and drop the shit off. You know, like, because we know each other. He's there literally every day. And he's like, well, I can't do it because of this. And I said, well, here's my cell phone number. If you don't feel like you can get it done, don't leave all this shit lay out by my mailbox. So that's a whole nother dynamic to the day-to-day life here, being married to Ashley King. So, yeah. At least once, probably twice a day, honestly.
So has he talked about the Lernerville interview? I think that you talked about that like in every show, like interview you've ever done.
Yeah.
Like that's everybody remembers.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, and I don't know. It was just what it was, you know. So I don't know. Me and Kobe both ain't racing now. We're just working on shit. We're both pretty smart. You make more racing working on them than you do racing them. So maybe, you know, we're on the same page now, I guess.
So can we let Rex have a couple beverages and speak his mind?
If you let my brother have a couple beverages and speak his mind, there's nothing productive going to come out of that.
So basically what you're saying is I'll be off for another 16 months, basically.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just think like there's no, like we can sit here and talk shit all day, but there's productive things that are happening in racing, and he doesn't. He just he gets in there and goes, and he doesn't. It ain't like that, So
when is Mr. Vacation retiring since he can't beat Rudolph? So I'm assuming he's talking
honestly,
Eric Rudolph.
Well, this is going to be Eric Rudolph, and this is going to be the year because like we put a little team together because we do Aiden Cipriano's big block stuff, and now we're taking on Justin Shea's stuff, and it's going to be housed out of here, and we're going to take care of it. So I feel as if we bring 3 full-time racing,
Run your mouth out. This is what the people want. They want us here.
People want. This is the
Oh,
first time
boy.
I've been here.
Listen, there's somebody out there.
I know there's a black lady in a parking lot. I don't know why.
It is. And she was like laid back.
She on fentanyl.
She moved, so it's cool.
That ain't your Amazon driver, is it?
It's the Amazon driver.
It might be.
Come here. You want to talk about go-kart dads? Look at this fucking hat right here. That's a go-kart dad right there.
I told my wife before I left, I said, find me, I need a go-kart hat so Russ will be mad.
Leave?
Huh?
How do you smoking in the garage? Jesus
Wow.
Christ.
Give the people what they want to hear. You're going to have to turn up. You got a crowd now.
I got it. What? This is the first time I've seen both of them in 2 weeks.
We've been on vacation.
We've been on vacation the whole fucking time. That's why.
So your wife said lies. I'm assuming that's about you saying the Amazon truck's always at your house.
Yeah, probably. No, that's not a lie. It's a real life thing. But hey, whatever she wants, I give her a lot of bullshit, and I want to take a second now that my dumb friends are here. She does put up with a lot of shit, and this whole thing couldn't work without her, and I appreciate her a lot, and it's the most I've ever loved her in my life. So, she does a great job and supports everything I'm doing, and everything's going good right now. So,
all right, Russ, let's make this a good one. Let's hear your best Maresca story.
My best Michael Maresca story. So this is easy. So a lot, like what has that been, about 5-6 years ago now? I was a little bit more ornery than what I am now. And we're going somewhere, and maybe we crashed the night before. We're back at the shop. We're loading up. We're going. And we got these women in the truck, and we're waiting on fucking so-and-so and my wife and blah, 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 blah. And we're sweating our dicks off. We're loading this shit, get done. The truck's running, generator, air conditioner. I said, hey, there ain't no fucking water or beer in that truck. I said, get in there and fucking fill the refrigerator real quick. So we get in there. I finish loading. Michael's doing that. We get in. I said, hey, where are you going? He says, well, I'm going out of the truck. I lost my wallet. I said, are you fucking shitting my dick? So we're walking around the driveway looking for Michael's wallet, blah, 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 for an hour. My wife, and we're running late to get to the races. So my wife calls and she's like, hey, I think the truck's propane is out because the refrigerator is beeping. I said, what the fuck do you mean the refrigerator's beeping? The goddamn generator's on, So I go in there and we're still looking in the driveway. I'm so fucking pissed off at this Michael. I could have killed him. We get in there and the motherfucker set his wallet in the thing, in the holder. Well, he was filling the water the refrigerator full of water and beer. He put his wallet in there. Well, Michael has lost his wallet so many fucking times. His dad got him one of these beepers and like an air tag before air tags were air tags. So like if he was trying to pin his wallet, I said, what are you doing on your fucking phone? We're trying to find this wallet. Quit fucking around. Well, he was trying to find out where his wallet was because he had an air tag in there that would beep. So that's what he did. So my wife's like, I think the refrigerator's out of propane. It's beeping. And really, Michael set his wallet in the fucking refrigerator when he was filling it. And we looked for an hour trying to find the fucking thing. And that's what it was. So that's my favorite Maresca story. There's been a lot with Michael. And honestly, Michael is the one that moved my whole program from somebody who had no fucking idea who he was to where we raced late models and got good. They went back to running modifieds and won the Outlaw 200 and did some shit. And it's like made me a little bit relevant. And so I love him to death, but he knocked a clip off of one in Arizona one night, and me and him and a guy that was drinking Budweiser heavies at noon in fucking Arizona pulled the rear clip out on this car. That was a pretty funny story. There's a lot of Maresca stories that are very funny. So, but that one's probably the best when he lost his wallet.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, he was doing, like, I know when you got hooked up with him, he was doing late models and big blocks, and he was doing good in the late model, and it just kind of faded away. Did he just lose interest, or is it just because, like,
No,
when
he's
he
just
raced,
smart. Yeah, he's just smart. Like, he was smart enough to know, like, am I going to sacrifice my life to do this for the next 3 years and try to make a living of it and spend a bunch of our parents' and family's money to do it? Or should I just, like, race modifieds up home, have a real job, be a productive part of society and race modifieds? And he chose the be productive part of society and race modifieds, So, yeah, that was it. So, and of course, we've gained a crowd,
So
Yeah.
since your brother's there, Russ, why don't we ask him his thoughts about Tri-City going up against Lernerville? See what he got to
He has
say.
well, yeah, I don't think he really has a lot of thoughts about. They want to know what the Tri-City. I have an earpiece in, so you can't hear. But they said, "What's your thoughts about Tri-City to Lernerville?" And it's the same shit. Because here's the deal: he goes wherever we say we're going to go, and it's not going to be.
Well, here's the deal. Like, that guy bought the place. Awesome. Keeping it open, doing this. Don't run up against another track when you only have 12 cars anyway. It's like whatever. But, yeah, more power to him. I'm going to Lernerville just because that's where we go.
I gave him an earpiece. I think that was a terrible fucking decision,
I'm listening, though.
Yeah. So it's going to Lernerville. We race Lernerville. Lernerville's the best track. Wherever the 29 of Crummert goes, that's where we're racing because he's the best. They're the best guys. Them two are the best. So if you want to see the best people race, we're going to go where he goes, and I'm sure Garrett's going to go where we go. That's it. There's not cherry picking because we want to race the best guys, So
Rob Howe says Chaz for president. Is this
he's
someone?
He's got fucking time to be the president.
That's House ain't big enough for that guy.
Yeah. He's got time to be the fucking president. Apparently both of them do, because literally I ain't seen either of them in 3 weeks.
We just got back.
You don't want us around here, obviously.
I
Or
didn't
we
pick
would
up my
have been
kids'
invited
roller
tonight.
skates.
This fucking place stinks. You lit that cigar in here, it fucking stinks.
I'm gonna have another one.
So yeah.
I think honestly, are we allowed? There's literally a person in a car out there. Are we allowed? Can we take this out
Just
there?
let
and
them be.
interview her?
Just let them be. You want to go on location.
I want to
Cletus on location. Someone is overdosing on fentanyl in our front parking lot. We're going Cletus on location.
I think
Yeah.
Lead us on the scene.
Unreal.
All right, so we covered pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about, but since you got some company there, let's get them involved. So ask Chaz when he's going to become the RKR house driver.
Chaz will never be the RKR. He's the sportsman RKR house driver. He basically
But I thought
When
he
he
was running
tells them-
big blocks.
Ride the school bus.
No, he
Drive
don't
the
run
school
big
bus.
blocks no more. He
I
don't
drive
want
the
to do
school
that.
bus
He's
for the
racing
kids.
go-karts with his kid this year, and he just runs sportsman now. And he basically says to people, Russ's success with selling all these sportsman rental cars and all these people that get sportsman cars is because of him.
100%.
He walks around and tells them that.
Dick swinging.
I get zero.
Just
I
fucking
get
swinging.
zero.
Swings it around.
He getting
So,
you all that business.
Chaz
Like, you
is-
gotta take care of the homie.
Yeah. No, I take care of Chaz. He's So he's going to race sportsmen, and there's kids racing go-karts and stuff like that. And God bless him and my brother and Joey, because them fucking kids racing these go-karts, I would pull my hair.
It's awful.
It's the worst thing you've ever seen. Not because of the people at work, just their brains. Their brains don't work. Very simple. Like they got little brains that don't work, And their brains just need to get bigger for them to understand how to line up. And it's pretty simple riding a go-kart. Do not leave the fucking tires.
What do? They leave
And
the
they're
tires.
fucking running the rim like they're Fegger at Fairbury,
Well, not only that, you said the parents are probably bad too. I could see some go-kart parents throwing down, saying, "You wrecked my kid."
Go-kart dads. Go-kart
They're
dads.
fucking terrible. The worst things I've ever seen.
Go-kart
I love it
dads.
because I don't care. But these other ones,
Evan's dad was here, Tom Dawson, the other day.
Shout out, Tom.
Shout out Tom Dawson, transfer tornado cuts. He takes care of all these fucking kids' shit.
thank God.
And
Thank
he
God
was
for
here,
Tommy.
and they were in Florida, Daytona, and they're like, well, maybe we could hit that Paradise in South Carolina. And this Dawson's like,
tickets.
Yeah.
we're done. I cannot do this another week with you motherfuckers. We are going home.
Evan, I said, how much is it, Tom? How much for us to go?
Yeah.
Evan said, he spoke up, and Evan doesn't speak. He said 10,000.
10,000, he said.
Yeah, per mile.
Yes.
Dalton Slack, how was Daytona Kart Week? It was great for him. He didn't have to do a fucking thing. It was a vacation, Dalton.
His name is Club Car Cooter.
Club
So
Car
all he did was
Cooter.
drive the golf
All he did
cart.
was drive the golf cart around. Club Car Cooter.
My brain works better than these guys. Hey,
Yeah.
how about we get this golf cart and we pull these go-karts and not push them a mile and a half to the fucking pit stall?
Yeah. I wish they had a
Dalton,
fucking.
it was actually really cool, Dalton. That was fun. I enjoyed it because I didn't really have to do a whole lot. And that was about it.
It's not bad.
I wish they had a golf cart at
Hooters.
Allentown last week.
Yeah,
Just
Hooters Wings in Daytona. Big
Yeah.
step up.
Real good.
Huge. Unbelievable.
Was it way better than the one in Charlotte?
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Light years better.
When you're in Daytona, why in the fuck would you go to Hooters compared
Because
to
it was
anywhere
right there.
else?
Because our wives and kids were there. It's the only entertainment we had.
Could have went
So
to
it's
Oyster.
Cooter, you going to Volusia this year?
No Volusia for me. I'm my son was supposed to go to Alltech and run his little crate mod, but I don't think his grades are going to be.
Uh-oh,
good
that
enough.
changed. I just told him breaking news. Like I told him before, I said them kids is going to go racing, and now
We're
you
gonna
heard
find
it
out-
here
We're gonna
first.
find out Friday.
Find out
His
first.
grades are
Here.
good enough, but no, I'm not going to Volusia this year. It's an every 5-year program for me. I can save up enough. We got to scrap some tin cans. We go through enough beer cans. We can make enough money to get some fuel down there. And unless Chaz is going to pay my way, if Chaz pays my way, I'll go.
I got your pit pass.
For one night. No Volusia for me.
All right, Joey McFall says, ask Rex about Faith.
Oh, Faith was, God bless her, because Faith was our server there. We went to Hooters 4 times while we were in Daytona, and Faith was our server, and she was super nice to me. And for lack of better words, I didn't see her anymore. I was there an extra day, and we told her goodbye. And she goes, well, I'm not working tomorrow because I got to go get my kid back. She had a custody problem. I don't know what was going on there, but yeah. Who's that? Oh, no.
On the bench, yeah.
Oh, I thought someone said over there here to party. He asked about Bacardi.
Yeah.
Yeah, Faith, she was a sweetheart. What a nice girl. Thank God she got her daughter back.
Shout out Faith.
Faith. Hooters,
Shout out.
Daytona.
Shout out
Our girl.
Hooters Faith from Daytona.
So Russ, what's I seen that Bam Bam's going to be following the ULMS tour this year. Are you guys still going to be doing some of the bigger rush races when it don't conflict with the ULMS? What's
Yeah,
that
that's
looking
the
like?
plan. That's the plan. Like we have our one. Like we sold one of our crate cars, and that's what Logan's getting into here this year. And then our other crate car, we just ran it all tech. That's going to be kind of our only crate car, and we plan on doing the races that make sense like that. And Pittsburgh, we always run good at Pittsburgh, you know. So we're going to do that. That doesn't conflict. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was going to say that I noticed there's no ULMS race against the Juk, so I assume you guys will probably hit that up.
Yeah, we love Pittsburgh. Sometimes we've had some issues there and recovered good, and we just haven't won a big race there. We won a weekly race and always seem to run good there, and just doesn't.
No.
We haven't won one of the big races there, and
Was the bra size.
I was never good there either.
She's the one that
And
me about her bra
it's
size.
impressive that Brock is. So that's what
She was a cute little
we're gonna
bra.
try to do a lot of that stuff. So
And I think that makes sense because a lot of times you see these younger drivers, they win a couple races in crates, they're in a big hurry to go to super. So it's good, I think, for his development that you're still going to keep him running some of the bigger crate races. too, and
yeah,
not just get him
and
out.
we went through that this season, and we had some decent luck off the rip situationally, and we had a good car, and Brock did a pretty good job, and we ran decent at a couple local races and have some misfortune, and then other places like you go, like we got killed at Sharon, and we weren't very good at the firecracker doing it, but you need time to develop in regional local races. And that's where I've always been it's not easy, like it's not fucking easy. So, like just because his name ain't Jonathan Davenport, Michael Norris is a bad motherfucker, and so is Jared Miley and Alex Free and all them dudes. And I know because I raced against them. So like when you unload at Lernerville and you run about 7th behind Colton and Kenny and all them dudes, and you're like, who the fuck is Kenny Sheltonbrand? And he's crabbing around. He's like turtling around that bottom, and he runs 2nd or 3rd. Like them are real people that have raced there forever. And just because they ain't on Flow Racing, they're real people. So the ownership of our team sometimes does not realize that shit, believe it or not. And I'm like, well, you don't know who Kenny Sheltonbrand is, but I do, and I've raced him. And if there's a mud turtle around the bottom, Kenny is going to find it. And next thing you know, he's in 3rd, and we're all wheel spinning on the cushion. And, like there's situations that happen like that. So Brock gets that. Sometimes the rest of our management team does not, So, yeah, it's a big hello, kind of thing. But that's
I feel like this one should be interesting. Mike C, when is the infamous? We know you love E-mods because you told us earlier. When is the infamous E-mod coming out in that story?
So it's sitting. I don't know who Mike C is.
Mike C. I think
Mike Clark. I don't fucking know.
I don't know. He come up with this Rudolph thing. It's like, fuck. What do you want? I bet you.
I don't know. But I promise.
Shut up, Mike C.
Yeah. So this was another. We've had about 3 to 4 purchases like this, me and Chaz, and we bought this E-mod, and I was drunk and he was sober, and he went through with it. So it's more so his fault than me. And it's just been sitting here for 2 years, and it's like I need something else for someone to walk in and say, "Hey, Russell, what the fuck is going on with that E-mod over there in the corner?" It's like, there's like brand new modifieds and late models getting built, and they are attracted to a $10,000 shitbox fucking E-mod in the corner, and they're like, "What the fuck's that doing here?" And there's no plans. The plan is to sell it. So, Mike C, if you want to race the motherfucker, come on down here. We're gonna get you
in the driveway.
Is that Mike C in the driveway?
I don't know. Is he half overdosed on fentanyls?
Yeah.
So the plan for the E-mod is somebody wants like a 2-barrel E-mod to go out there and just sashay this motherfucker into the fence at Sharon. We got one for you. It's got a brand new Hammond lift bar in it, or pull bar in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just, it's like the limo, except the limo was a good idea.
All right, so here, this should be another good one. Brandon Goodman, ask Russ how hard it was to get the big rock out of Will Thomas's car.
I don't know. That's another fucking thing. All these guys. So this Willie
going there Fridays,
Yeah. So this Willie's there, and he's racing. He's got his little modified, and he's overheating because they send us out in the slime and said, we're going to run this makeup feature, the first division on the track. So you got these sand turtles out there, and everyone's like, ah! And they got the radiators packed full of shit, and everyone's overheating, right, and blowing up. So Will pulls in, and his shit is fucking overheating, and everyone's like, oh, my God, let's pull the hood off and shit. And I was like, dude, he didn't pull in because he's overheating. There's a fucking, 15-pound rock wedged between his fucking head and his seat over here that blowed through the fucking windscreen. And that's where he came up with that. And I'm standing there in total disbelief because racing people are so stupid, even the crew guys, including myself. And everyone's like, God damn, we got to cool this fucking motor down or whatever. And he's like, it's not really the problem. The problem is I have literally a pond rock jammed in between my head and the fucking roll cage. It was so classic. So I'm standing there watching this, and I told this, because everybody that's a photographer gets into the races for free. I said, hey, come here. Free guy, come here. Take a picture of this to put in the Ariata Racing News, So, yeah, that's what he's talking about. And
so, Russ, is
that the same guy? Is that the Chili Bowl guy? Is he going to the Chili Bowl that he's been thrown all over there? Just left Western PA, and he's a Chili Bowl photographer now. That's him, right?
I think so. I think so.
Brandon Goodman?
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to the Chili Bowl or not.
It's been on there. He's going to Chili Bowl. He knows Chaz.
Russ, this has to be about you because you said your brother and Chaz don't do shit. Hardest working guys in Bristolville.
100%. Yeah.
I'm just glad I'm not from Bristolville because I wouldn't be on that list.
Bristolville. We won't let him in here. We tried getting him out here before, but he's a Howland guy.
Yeah, too far out.
Too far out. Yeah.
All right, now we got to call. We want someone. Joey McFalls wants your old man to step in. We got everybody else. Where's your kid? Where's Ella at? You might as well get her in here.
Ella's at home. No, she ain't asleep. She don't get until later, but she's at home after the karate. Her and her mother embezzled themselves into some Chick-fil-A and milkshakes, and now they're probably wallered out there on the couch. So they're not here. My dad, on the other hand, he's here probably once or twice a day.
I'm gonna leave. Hold on, my wife's watching. I'll see you guys.
Yeah. So yeah, that was Dad comes here like once a day, but yeah, he's planning. He's kind of pissed because he asked. He's like, "What about that Wild West shootout?" And I said, "Well, they canceled it because it's going to be cold." So
snowing, right? Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah. So he's watching tomorrow. I said, "Dad, it's tomorrow." He's a big internet watch guy now. He went to about 5 or 10 last year, and then when the kids go to Raceway 7 and I don't have somebody to take them or something happens, he'll drive the truck up there for Logan and Karsten. So. And that's close. It's only 40 minutes. So that's what he's doing these days.
You are right, by the way. That was the photographer that asked that question, Brandon.
Yeah, I know. He's going, I've seen he's big dicking everybody. He's like, I'm a Chili Bowl guy now. I'm going out there to take pictures of the Chili Bowl.
I think you already answered this, but Jim Frost had asked Russ when he's going to be a cart dad. I don't think he's going to be.
No, I told Leslie, Chaz, I said, you're going to take – after what I watched at that fucking Daytona – I bought that car from Fry, and it's been sitting here, and I'm like, oh yeah. And then I watch this shit, and I said, that Ellie ain't gonna start. She doesn't have the capacity to line up like worse than these kids already are. So I said, Chaz, you need to put some grooved Hoosier tires on that thing, and we'll just let her run around the yard and just tear the fuck out of shit.
Looks like your brother. Not to interrupt you, but it looks like your brother's wife is looking for him. You might want to give him the boot.
Yeah, that's a common number. Disappeared at bed and bath time again. That ain't. Yeah, that's not a huge.
How many kids does he have now?
He's got 5. Yeah, I have 1 right now. I have 1 3/4 right now. So yeah, I'm gonna have 2 soon. Hopefully, if everything's cool. So
all right,
he has 5.
Big Tom Schwarzel asked Russ about running over all the cones at Charlotte and almost getting us all kicked out.
Yeah. Oh, as much as I think I forget shit, I do remember a lot of shit. If that's the time I'm thinking of, I had this kid working for me. His name's Craig McCrimmon, a.k.a. the Snowman. He worked for me, and then he quit and went and worked for Tim McCready. And McCready's buddy let him borrow a truck. So I said, hey, let's get in this fucking truck and let's go over to the bar. And he says, okay. And I had some of my friends, and he was really looking to show off. So he gets in this thing and he holds it to the fucking floor and puts his elbow up like this and jams the motherfucker down into like first gear and blows the transmission and all this shit out of this fucking truck. So we're laughing, screaming, hollering, blah, 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 just laughing. And this kid's throwing up. He's so scared what he's going to tell McCready. We don't give a fuck. It wasn't none of our shit. So this Big Tom, and who was the kid that wore the fucking stupid glasses on?
Nick something or another.
Tom's buddy, this Nick.
You talking about Nick, I think Nick Davidson. Was he have like the Liberace?
It might have been. Yeah, he had the glasses, and he was like, goddamn Apollo Ono or some fucking shit, like a speed skater with these glasses. And they got their grandma's fucking Corsica out there. They drove it down from wherever in Pittsburgh, and he says, we'll push it. So he's pushing this fucking truck with his grandma's car, and like I'm riding in the truck beside Snowman, and he's shitting his pants. Like, I don't know what I'm going to tell Tim McCready. I just blowed up his buddy's fucking truck. So like we get going down the ramp down to the bottom pit area, and I just hook it left and just clean all these cones out and fucking shit. Made matters worse. So that guy, so McCready's like, what the fuck were you thinking? And Craig's vomiting. He's so fucking beside himself. So as the story goes on, his brother called me and said they took that truck to a transmission guy in Concord, and they said that guy has worked on transmissions for 25 fucking years, and they've never seen a transmission destroyed as bad as this. So yeah, it was fucked up, and we left.
That dog, you still got that dog in you?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, there's no dog like that left in me.
No?
I'm pretty good at instigating people, but I ain't gonna be the one doing the shit, you know.
This looks like another one of your highlights. This ought to be another interesting story. What about when you and Holtgraver took the go-karts at Roaring Knob for a joyride through the pits at 1 a.m.?
That was expensive.
Yeah, well, I can only tell half that fucking story.
I can tell.
Literally, I can only. No, you can't. Actually, you can't tell the other half.
Write it down.
So yeah, they had go-karts at Roaring Knob, and we were there for the big. I don't know, the King of the Knob. We were the King of the Knob. And Hallgraver, man, I miss Josh Hallgraver racing and Troy and all them dudes. They were so fucking awesome. Like crate racing's good now, don't get me wrong, but there was a time period like Hallgraver and Josh Double and fucking a lot of these dudes it was so fucking fun, you know. And I wasn't really doing it that much then, but just the people around was awesome. And so we went up there, and I was drinking the beers. And they had these pay-to-play go-karts. So we went up, and then fucking Miley kids, Will and Matt, and we were riding them. And then I was the only dumb fuck that took my four-wheeler up there because I wasn't walking up there. So I rode my four-wheeler up. Sold Rick Jones. What that was his name, Rick Jones.
Yeah, Rick Jones. Yep.
Rick Jones, bitch. You know, like so. He comes out in his fucking underwear and a white beater. He's like, what the fuck is going on? And he takes the key out of my white four-wheeler. And he's like, somebody's ass is on fire. And I'm like, so everybody just gets out of their go-karts. Because literally all we did was pull the tarps off them and start them. Started tearing the fuck out. I rode one down through the pits. And everyone says, oh, it is possible. So everybody comes up, and then we start riding them and tearing the fuck out of shit. He comes out in his underwear and shit, and he's screaming, yelling, hollering, and he takes the key. So I try running, and I realize there's no key in my four-wheeler, so I'm the one that's fucked. And so he says, there's $10,000 worth of damage here. And we're like, whoa, what's the three? 10,000, like, you know, we fucked up, but come on, man. So I think we talked him down to like $5,000. So I go over to Miley's old man, and Josh, you know, Troy had some money, and Miley's all, and they're like, you guys are so fucking stupid. So then I go to Big Mur, my mom, and she was fucking pissed. So long story short, we scabbed up this $5,000 to pay for like one go-kart tire and a chain and a left front spindle that cost Rick $5,000, he said, to fix. And we paid him the fucking money, and then we were allowed to race for fucking nothing that night. Yeah. And run over the rock into turn 3 and tear every tire to the fucking ground until the place closed. Is it still open? Is Roaring Knob still open?
I think so. I think they ran on Friday nights last year.
Do they? I've never, I honest to God thought it was closed. I've never heard nothing about it ever since then.
I don't remember. You know the great Howie Bayless, right? The great photographer.
Oh, yeah, I know Howie. Yeah. He's a Latrobe guy.
Yeah,
Wasn't he a Latrobe guy?
Yeah, he was, but he's not at Latrobe anymore. I want to say he might be back at Roaring Knob, but I could be wrong about that.
Yeah, I don't really know, but I know that was the last time I was at Roaring Knob. But I will say I did have a delicious breakfast every time I went there at that little bullshit Deer Cabin fucking cafe that had like a guy, he was like serving, and he had Parkinson's and his wife had dementia, and they were like having a restaurant, but it was kick ass, you know? So
shout out Howie Bayless. Tell them about the night you guys didn't go to Latrobe.
This is the funniest story you ever heard. So they're having these modified races at Latrobe, and I ain't got a problem with Latrobe. It's a big track, blah, blah, blah. It ain't bad. So we had something going, and it was like $1,200 to win or $1,500 to win big block race at Latrobe. And we live, that's far from us a little bit. So Chaz says, you know what? God damn it, I'm going down there. You know? I'm going down and I'm racing. So they got like 6 or 7 fucking cars or something. So Leslie starts on the pole. Chaz. And we're like, he wins the race. So we see starting on the pole, and he's like, sends a picture, and Victor Lane won the race. You know, horn like Kyle Strickler on the side of the roof, like did it.
Horns up.
So then a week goes by, and we're like, oh, good job, Leslie. We don't, we go to Lernerville, and it rains out. And we're sitting there, and I said, Howie, you want a beer? Yeah. So we're sitting there. It rains out like after hot laps or before hot laps, one of them deals. Howie's there. We're all standing around Chaz Cooter. He says, hey, Chaz, that's a pretty good race last week. He's like, better be lucky than good, huh? And we're like, what? He's like, yeah. He's like, well, you started on the pole and fell back to third, and then Swartzlander broke and Federer spun out, and you assumed the lead and won. And we're like, what? Chaz is sitting there like, you motherfucker. They didn't know that. Like, it was so fucking funny.
You just turned on me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
So he asked me the week before, he's like, you want to come down there and race? And I said, no. So if you've ever seen Evan, he kind of looks like a young Jewish boy. And I said, Evan is graduating from his, like, we have a bar mitzvah. So
you were telling you were telling Howie this. This is why you weren't going to be racing at Latrobe.
That's why we didn't go and Chaz went. Like Chaz went, we weren't
They're
going.
saying this over the loudspeaker.
They're
The Kings, sorry they can't be here. They're at a bar.
I said Evan, because Evan's like pale white. He has dark black hair. McLovin. He looks like McLovin off of Superbad, right? And we're like, well, it's Evan's bar mitzvah next weekend, so we can't go. So this Howie gets on there and he's telling everybody about goddamn Kings would have been here, but their crew guy Evan had his bar mitzvah this week,
So
and wearing his mazel tov, and so yeah, that was that story. I wasn't gonna. Why would you guys bring this shit up?
It was funny.
It was great.
Yeah, Howie's all. I don't know, Russ. You see Howie? He's always on Facebook selling shit for everybody. You think he's getting cut out of that?
Yeah, I think so. Guy. Like Howie's kind of one of them dudes. Like he's just around, and he's like
got connection.
He just loved to love him.
Yeah, I love the guy. He's come here before and seen shit we were selling, and just tries to help people sell shit, and he's a good guy. Like, there's not people in the sport that are going to fucking drag their asses to races 2 to 3 times a week anymore, like Howie. And I make fun of all these fucking photographers on a lot of this shit, but dude, they go. Even though they get in for free, they still fucking go 2 or 3 times a week, honestly.
Hey, I heard you're sponsoring all the admissions for all the photographers.
Yeah.
At Expo.
Yeah. So as much as I ball bust them guys, because I do ball bust them all, like, hey, you fucking photographers, you get into the races for free. I have to pay for pictures of my race car if I want any. What the fuck are we doing? But without them, there's probably less credibility and stuff. I just don't blow them like Chaz does, So, that's why I ball bust Goodman and shit like that, because you can, so.
So Brent, the
and then
photographer,
the devil.
Yeah, he got this is for your brother. Ask Rex if he bent anything at Lernerville when he got airborne. I think it was at the beginning of the year last year.
Oh, in practice that night? It might have been. I
wouldn't know.
He flipped and kept going a couple times there. But we went and tested. There was an Integra test there. There was late models and modifieds and shit. And me and Turbo are watching, and Cooter goes out. First lap, like, he kind of idles down the front straightaway, gasses up down the back straightaway through 3 and 4. And it had weird chop in 1 and 2. And he plumb about flips this motherfucker like a brand new car, first lap of time trials. And this Turbo's like, your brother's such a fucking idiot. He just about flipped this fucking car. I think that's what he's talking about, because I told him how fucking stupid
Unless it was
was.
When he went off the front stretch in the steering box, bro.
Oh, we had a steering box issue one time. But what I remember is sitting there watching him literally the first lap on a brand new car about snap flip it into one at Lernerville at a test. So that might be what he's talking about. But yeah, he's a dumbass. He does shit like that all the time.
So Paul Durant said, is this still going on? Yes, it is. And I have to ask you. He told me to ask you about the time he came to your shop. Knowing Paul, he probably drank all your beer.
There's people that have left here. Like, yeah, when Duretz has gotten here, him and Gunn, and I think Jake. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Jake was here, and then Schaefer. And Jake threw up on the way home, is what Paul told me.
Like complete shirt off.
Yeah, he was like shirt off, throwing up. And I think they were sworn to secrecy not to tell Schwartzmiller's daughter. And that was a long time ago, but I don't think they've been to the new shop. That was all the old shop. Yeah. So.
Do they race it anymore?
Yeah, they race. Yeah, they race. Yeah. So, yeah, he's been here, but not to the new shop. He needs to come to the new shop. Duretz. Yeah.
All right, so we got another one here. Let's see. Ask Russ and Cooter about the best part of Matt Williamson's wedding.
Oh, the best part of Matt Williamson's wedding? So we're sitting there, and it's the same. Yeah. So we're buddies with Justin Harris. Shout out Harris Cement Products, Phelps Cement Products. And there's this bougie blonde lady, and we have all our wives there, right? And it's very funny.
Who asked this question?
I don't know who asked the question, but the answer is going to be the same.
Right there.
So we're sitting there. Yeah.
Oh, Johnny Mac. Or no, Josh.
No, it's Josh
Okay. Right.
Macmillan. I don't know who he is. He was there probably. That's why he knows the story. So Justin Harris, his wife, my brother, his wife, me, my wife, Joe Matthews, his wife, ex-Fox guy, now Bill Steen Longhorn, Longhorn guy, bandwagon guy. So this lady keeps coming up to Justin Harris and is like, "Oh my God, T-Bone, Justin Harris, I loved you. I love you so much. Blah, blah, blah. Remember when I kissed you in Victory Lane or told you I'd fuck you in front of my husband," and all this shit, like all this random crazy shit. And Justin's wife's sitting right there.
And Justin's wife's the sweetest lady in the
she's
world.
awesome. So she's playing along. She's like, "Oh yeah,"
Like Justin, he outkicked his fucking coverage. She's a smoke show. Like she's an awesome girl, awesome lady.
So this woman would not fucking stop talking about how she wanted to fuck Justin. And fucking Harris is playing it off, and his old lady is like so cool. Like she's like, "Oh yeah," and just like playing along. That was probably the best part of Williamson's wedding.
That lady looked at us at our whole table and said, "I go down on my own husband thinking of Justin Harris." It was
awkward. It was very awkward. But like Justin's old lady's a fucking 10, and she was laughing about it. And it just was so awkward for Justin. It was fucking hilarious.
That's right.
So according to Paul, I guess there's video of this episode that you speak of.
Of what?
This is the 165 that Brendan Goodman was talking about.
No. Was that in practice?
He wanted to know, wanted to know if something was broken. Probably.
In the traction. A lot of grip. I don't have that video. Fuck, it's been a long time, So, Booger. Yeah. That's who that is? That's Booger?
He has a real name?
Yeah. I guess he does have a real name. Booger. Yeah, he's the man. Shout out Booger. There's lots of stories about Booger. Yeah. Booger. I see him now. He helps a guy at Outlaw Speedway. I see him a couple times this year. Love Booger. Seen him forever. Yeah.
So Mike C says, "Can Cooter stay off iRacing? He is terrible. Race not even a lap in complete chaos shortly after."
Go ahead. You got the thing in to where you're talking?
Jazz is listening.
So
I don't iRace. My kids iRace. They set it up under Rex King. My son, my middle son is Rex King III. So they set it up under Rex King, put a 165. So I get these messages all the time like, "Hey man, you threw me an elbow at that race last night." I'm like, "I don't even know who the fuck you are. I don't iRace. I don't even know how to turn it on." I won't say I've never done. I ran like 16 laps at Volusia last year.
That's how you say it.
Well, when I say I ran 16 laps, I probably finished one because I kept spinning. I don't know how to do it. I've not raced a race. I don't know. That's on my kid. He's a 9-year-old. I don't know.
Yeah, them people take that shit seriously though. That iRacing though, like you go in there and like drive like a hack, they be giving you the boot. I know plenty of people that went in there and drove like a-holes and they just get like booted out. But I guess they have races for money or something.
Yeah, Karsten says his claim to fame is Uncle Russ if I win like 3 more races, I can be to the next level and race for money.
Yeah, that's it.
And
Yeah,
I'm
you get
like,
licenses or whatever.
Fucking good luck to you, because I've seen you race, and these people saying, you slid me off the back straightaway at Lernerville. I said, it's going to take a little time to make that happen. You know?
All right, Russ, I think this is another. This I don't. Do you still help the signs, or you did? But read this comment. Ain't that the I think when we talked in 2020, I think Chas didn't he go? Didn't they own like a shop and like Russ bought like a big pallet of beer or something off him?
Yeah. So
shop.
Again, for the 50th time in this fucking interview, shout out to Turn 4 Bar and Grill and JD's Pit Stop. They cater pretty much all of our events here, and then they have a gas station that we buy pallets of beer. So basically, that has nothing to do with Corey or Chad. It's more Mom and Jordan. So yeah, like they're good shit. They live up the road here, and that's we have a lot of great people around our area that help us one way or the other. So yeah, they run crate late models up at Raceway 7 and stuff like that. So yeah, they're cool.
Can we give a shout out to somebody watching?
Go ahead, Chaz, if you want.
How about back home, JC Boyer?
JC Boyer. Shout out JC Boyer.
Berg Hill Jammer.
Berg Hill Jammer. He drives truck during the day, you know. And
anytime a motor started here at the shop, you know it's going to run good if JC's here for the first break-in.
Yeah.
Hey, Chaz, go get that stand up behind you and bring it up to the front so that people can take a look at it.
This one?
Yeah, right behind you.
Real vodka, real juice.
Was that Russ? Did someone get you that as a Christmas gift? A cardboard cutout of your team?
Yeah. So Mom Cipriano, newfound owner of Mercer Raceway Park. Oh shit! Did I just say that? Yeah, she actually got that for me.
Look at that.
Kids a year or 2 ago. Yeah. So shout out Novice. Well, how do you say it? Novice? Novus Home Mortgage, new partner in Mercer Raceway Park. So
yeah. Russ, I wasn't thinking. I should have told you to call Brock up earlier. We could have got him on here. We got everybody else. Your brother.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, Bam Bam we should have called Paul. He might have had something good for us to talk about. You know,
love to call him right now. Get him on this.
Father Bam Bam. No, Brock does an unbelievable job because there's more in racing than just driving the race car, and a lot of that is
riding pit bikes
and 4-wheelers. No, I'm just kidding. No, he does a great job on and off the track, and he's a good kid, and I love him like a little brother, and so hopefully we can do some good this year, and you know, and Paul doesn't get us arrested, and no, I'm just kidding, all that stuff. So,
well,
yeah.
I did hear, and you might want to tell me if this is wrong or not, but the word on the street is I heard they're paying you 6 figures, the crew chief, that deal. Can you comment on that?
Plead the fifth is what you said.
Who's Jeff?
Well, you know, I mean, it's racing. Anything's possible. So,
Chaz, what do you think about this? He backing off that. Is he 6-figure Russ over there, crew chief?
Yeah, I think he's worth more. Honestly,
that's a deal. He said,
"Yeah, if you can get him for 6 figures, that's a deal." Heck, the guy and everything too.
Well, Russ, you're the only smart one. You're smarter than those two. You got out and making 6 figures as a crew chief. You don't have to tear up your shit, spend all that money.
Yeah,
no wonder you quit racing.
Yeah, that's where I've told people before, because there's other people that, well, you want to race and this, that, and the other, and there's just more people wanting to race them than there is working on them. So I'll just stay working on them and go from there. So that's the best bet. And now, like, I'm passionate about it. Like, when I leave the racetrack, we're having good nights most of the time, but like, you leave the racetrack happy no matter what. Usually when you work on them 8 out of 10 times, and when you race them, unless you win, you only leave the racetrack happy 1 for 10. So it's a better deal for me, you know? So, and my dad and my mom and everyone else involved, because racing's expensive. And I think now with, like, we have great kids coming up that I can help between Logan and Karsten and Aiden. Bam Bam. And then,
Todd English.
Todd's one of our older kids. But, even Rexy and stuff, and that's fun. It's fun to go back to the racetrack because me and my brother did it when we were 14, 15, learning how to race because there's no expectations. But once you start winning, just like Bam Bam, once we started winning tour races, then you expect yourself to win tour races every week. And when you don't, it's a bit of a letdown. So like that little bit of a ride from when you're not good, tearing shit up, to where you're making progress to where you win, that's the funnest part. And that's where Logan and Karsten are right now. And that's what makes it the funnest, and Bam Bam, it's still fun because he's progressed and won. And now with the super late model thing, it's going to be another, progression until he wins and does some regional stuff. But that train never stops because you just go to regional stuff and then national stuff, and it never stops to the trying, so
if there's a driver out there listening and aspires to be in the RKR fleet here, how do they go about getting your services?
Well, first off, you should have your dad call here, and
whoever has more money, you or your dad,
grandmother, aunt, uncle,
but there's a lot of different options. People think it's astronomical to race out of here, and it's really not. And a lot of it is like, if you look at Easler, like he started here, Logan's kind of following that trend too, to where we put you in sports and modifieds. It's a pretty competitive division around this area. That's not crazy expensive. And then we try to move you up to, and like Bam Bam, he ran sports and modifieds in New York. So I feel like that's a pretty good, and Easler ran him here. And then now he's doing great late model stuff. Logan, we're trying to cycle the system that way, but you can get a hold of us on Facebook. We got a new Facebook guy doing all that stuff. So you can get a hold of us that way. And there's different options if you want to own cars, but we have cars that we lease for the season. Pretty much all of them are taken up, but we can add more. So we got 5 full-time teams here this year. And, the more cars, it's just the more people and the more money to make it happen. So anything's possible when you're just racing regional, local stuff.
Yeah, John Waters said I'd stay away. Now this is coming from a guy that he's told me like for the last 10 years he's retired, and then I look and he's like winning up in Woodhull, New York, and Outlaw. So
yeah, John Waters is that guy. Like I met his brother this year when we were at Genesee for the Topless Natties. And he's so much fucking cooler than John, Like I've always liked John, and his brother is. It's like Russell to Cooter. Like everybody loves fucking Russell, and Cooter's a fucking douchebag, But Waters' brother, Dusty, a 10. John sucks. He's a scuba diver, and that's it, So Dusty Waters is our guy, no matter what,
Yes,
I got a question.
Go ahead, Chaz.
So when are we going to see Uncle Rusty in a race car again? Because we got these kids. You got to understand, these kids are so young; they don't know the racing Uncle Rusty. So we might have to put you in that 2-barrel E-mod.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I'm having a son, and that's exactly how I want him to remember me, as winning a race, a local 2-barrel E-mod race at Sharon Speedway. That's exactly what I would want. So. Absolutely, Chaz.
All right, we'll get the stickers.
That's what we'll
get
do.
mad on the stickers.
Get on it.
Scoville's
stickers.
C3, Matty Laddie.
Yeah, both of them.
I will say, I don't think I'll ever race again, honestly.
Because you suck.
Because I suck. Apparently, that's what he says.
Why won't you race a super late model again? Tell him the real reason why.
So I told Will this the other day. Well, the hand-eye is not great. But I told Will this the other day, we're watching these little TQ midgets go around, and he's like, so Willie is like, and he's one of my buddies, like he's 48, 7, and I'm 35. Yeah, Will's 47, 48, 49. I don't know how fucking old he's almost 50. And he's like, oh yeah, I could do it. I was like, dude, they're going around here in fucking 7.5 seconds. I said, when you stand in the infield, you cannot even focus on what the fuck. So when you're driving this thing, I was like, there ain't no way I'm doing that shit no more. And I'm 35, unless you stay in it, I was listening to something this week, and the funniest thing I ever heard, they're like, hey, yeah, when you retire, there's a couple mile, and try to go back racing, there's a couple mile an hour that comes off that fastball, and they're probably not fucking lying. So it would take you like 2 or 3 years to get back racing competitively on super late models and shit. And that's all I would really drive anyhow, so.
Water says Hand to Mouth seems to be doing just fine.
Yeah. Am I missing something? What's he talking about?
Well, that means because you're fat. That's just pregnant. Your wife's pregnant, so they got to understand that.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. What do you want me to say?
So, Russ, I think
after the Ozempic yet.
Yeah. You want me to start shooting them O's? Is that what we're doing? Just tell me, is that what we're doing?
So after 2 hours strong, you three definitely need to get a show going because it'd be like must-see podcast. And I think you guys should do a show live from Lernerville one week in the pits right after the race.
Oh, jeez. Well, we're not from fucking Pennsylvania, so that Big E will never want us down there. He wants Brian Swartzlander and fucking AJ Flick. He don't want us down there. I told him that earlier. That guy fucking messaged something like, hey, yeah, go Lernerville. No try to see it. I said, get out of here. They said, Brian Swartzlander. We're from Ohio, dog. You don't want us down fucking here.
No, but you.
Person to me at Lernerville is the lady in the pit gate that gets my pit pass. She always tells me I smell good.
Always the slowest, too.
The nicest person at Lernerville is the guy at the pit gate with the leather
hat. The leather hat guy that lets us in the pits through the pit gate every week. He's my guy.
There's not one person that sneaks in that place. Guaranteed.
No. If he quits or leaves, I'm done. I'm going to
shut it down. Yeah. If that ticket keeper guy is not at the pit gate with his leather hat. Remember, he left 2 weeks ago. So he went on like a vacation to fucking Europe or some shit.
No, I think he got like he quit and then they called him back.
Yeah,
because he's that good.
There was that much bullshit about him not being there. I thought,
and I've done worse shit for pettier reasons. All right,
the train conductor.
Yeah, the train conductor. Yeah, absolutely. Whatever.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I love that guy. Mary King loves him too.
Oh,
she rolls up there in her pickup and says, I'm pulling down there. She says, absolutely, Miss King.
That's right. Yeah, that's great.
Local shows fine, firecracker stuff.
They get Stampede Firecracker. Yeah. They got a little antsy, but then we got Old Man Rich, Gary Sr.
Gary Sr., love him.
That guy, he had a 14-year-old grandson, I think, running the water truck last Stampede. Yep. See, that's a shit. We need more.
Love the Lernerville. Big E could do with or without him. He thinks he's fucking Dow. He thinks he's Dow.
Ain't nobody Dow, dude.
I'm just fucking with you. You don't think you're Dow. You kind of think you're Dow, though.
Dow was the best, though.
Yeah,
there's Walmer, Dow, and then
Pollock, Jim Pollock, Sharon,
Tim Rear from the old Sharon days, and then Big E. Yeah. And then don't sleep on my dude Garrett. He's coming in hot.
Garrett, the new announcer, Garrett.
Yeah.
He sounds like he's from fucking Quebec. Like he should go up and announce at Granby.
Probably.
He should be Sharkman, Jan Bouchier. Yeah, like that's what he sounds like he's from. But he's all right. Yeah, he's all right. He's got to loosen up a little bit. Right. Loosen him up a little bit. But so yeah, that's the deal.
So, Russ, I got to ask you before we wrap this up. After asking you for years and years, can I finally get some RKR merchandise, like maybe a flat bit?
Yeah, we actually have some merchandise here.
Shit, I've been asking you for like 4 years.
Just come down. You got to come down one weekend, set up our podcast stuff for us.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. We have that. We have merchandise. The one thing we don't have a lot of is time, and that's where things get hard.
Still fucking plumb passed out.
Yeah, we have everything you need. Just we're lacking time a little bit. There's karate and kids and school and packing lunches that.
Lunches.
There's a little bit more.
Bristol School's lunch is free.
Yeah, but not if your kid don't want to eat it. So
I don't want to eat.
Is there anything before we wrap this up? Is there anything any of the three of you want to add to this great conversation?
I don't think they need to add anything. I just want to thank my wife, most all, and obviously
she's still awake. She might be sleeping.
Brother, I'm sure she's still the fuck awake. Yeah, and she will be waiting for me to get home and pack that lunch for Ella to go to school tomorrow. And then all the people that support us, the Pinkerus family, and Ciprianos, Lockhart's, English. My brother, his whole family, Chaz, all our customers. This whole ball of wax that somehow I can scratch out a living doing wouldn't be possible without all the people. So
Can we take this out to that lady's car?
This is serious.
Oh.
He's saying thank you. You don't say it a lot.
he knows I'm lying.
Yeah.
I don't believe it. He knows I'm lying. That's why Russ is just talking a bunch of bullshit, thanking all these people. Like it's all about him.
Yeah.
Look,
No,
Horvath says Ashley is ordering stuff off of Amazon for tomorrow's truck.
Oh my God. Yeah, she
And
does, but there's a lot of stuff that she does. I can't even lie for her. She does order a lot of stuff, but I fuck with her a lot, but there's no one else I would rather be married to and bring in a baby boy into the world with, so it's going to be an exciting time this year. And I don't know, we'll just see what happens. So
I definitely appreciate your time. I think we definitely need to do this again. Definitely.
Yeah. Maybe you could have it with Cooter and Chaz. They got a lot
We don't
of shit
have
they
time.
want.
We got to pack.
Yeah, they got no
lunches.
time. I swear to God.
Cooter's gotta
They have
watch
not
all
been
his
here.
kids.
Mr. Vacation, this is the first time he's been here. He got home from Daytona Monday. I ain't seen him for 2 weeks before then. I haven't seen him here in Chaz. I ain't seen him in fucking 2 months.
You ain't got the heat on in this place. It's freezing in here.
It is cold. It's very
It's a
cold.
16,000 square foot building. What do you think it costs to heat?
I had to light a
We don't
cigar to get it heated up.
Yeah, they're gonna light the stogies up again. Send
Look
us
at
off
him. He's
and
wearing a
stuff.
vest. He's like, he works an office job, and it looks like he's getting ready to go out and fill the wood burner.
I'm always ready.
Yeah,
I'm always ready.
Jesus
Yeah, we
Christ.
got to do this
He's
He's
again.
going
but
out
we-
to feed the cows and fill the wood burner.
Shout out.
We
to
got to
all
get
the
we got to get the fleet of your drivers on here. We got to get Lockhart, Cooters, Kid, Bam Bam. We'll just have everybody in here. Be it one big
Here's how,
powwow.
yeah,
Uncle
that would
Rusty.
be pretty special. Yeah, that'd be pretty special. Them kids. And we are lucky. We do have a good group of kids, and they're just, you forget how dumb you were when you're younger until you have these kids around. And then you realize, God damn, I was dumb when I was 15 or 16, But no, we are lucky. We got a great group of kids and dads and everything else. So, yeah, so it was enjoyable to catch up with you after 16 months or whatever, and maybe you can find time in your schedule to do this with other people because there's a lot of people I'd like to hear from. So,
Did he answer the question about the winners 2025? What's your speculations? Who's winning what in 2025?
who's winning what in 2025?
2025? All the people. Russ every year he sets up who's going to win what, how many races.
I think
all
it's
his
a little bit
drivers.
mixed up right now. I would say 2025. He's ready to get off here, so I'm going to make this short. We are going to beat Eric Rudolph this year in the BRP. I hope.
Oof.
He says no. He's driving it. I really hope so because we haven't won it in the last couple of years, and Eric's been lights out. But last year we won. Like I think Eric won 7, Garrett won 1, and we won 2. So like we're getting closer because usually Eric shuts us out. And we have a BRP race in Pittsburgh this year, which I can't wait because that's been rained out last year, and them cars always race awesome there. I think Bam Bam will do okay in the super late model. I think we'll get 1 to 2 wins, whether it's a ULMS or just a local show like at Lernerville or Wayne County. We got some new people. JR Gentry is one of our guys now. He got new rocket cars, so I think he'll be pretty good to run with Kyle Moore at Wayne County, or at least I hope so. Chaz is probably going to dominate Sportsman and race with his kid. Look at him smiling back there. Big dick and everybody. Cipriano will be good, and then we have Justin Shea running out of here full time in his big block. So I think there'll be multiple winners, and I don't know. You don't know.
Todd, how about for Todd?
Todd will crash, but he will win one. So JC will win a couple. It's hard to say right now. So we don't know. There's plenty of places to race because all these tracks are racing on each other, so you don't know where anybody's going.
Yeah, it's going to be easy to beat 5 cars.
You got a special racer too. Don't forget.
Yeah.
Coming off the flag stand one night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Keep that quiet.
I'm not giving him. I'm not doing
Yeah. But yeah, I appreciate your time. Like I said, we definitely got to do this again. And yeah, I'd be willing to come down there and help you guys get set up, get a couple little mics there, get your little studio built. Not that you don't have 50 million other things going on right now, but maybe we could set up your own the Russ King show or something like that.
Yeah, we could probably do something like that, and or we could pack wheel bearings, and you can do that too, and we can put some of these cars together. One or the other, we'll put you to work. So,
I don't know if you want me. I don't know if you want me to touch anything on a car, because most people will tell you the only skill I got is
amazing. Some of the people we let touch them, so you'd be fine.
Yeah. I just got a request.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Mike
Chad.
just asked if we can bring back Russ's randoms.
No,
That'd be great.
No,
Huh?
they're all married. No, we're good. So, it's getting about time. What time you got to start work tomorrow? I think that's about it. So
I'll just let you guys know that this out of all the shows I've done, this had the most viewers live as we did it. So kudos to you guys.
You've done 5. You've done 5 in 16 months. So that ain't that big of a accomplishment.
What happened? Did you have cancer? What the fuck why was he gone for 16 months?
Christ.
I know. I got
going on.
I just got lazy with it, but I'm gonna try to bring it back now. So
you said he got lazy.
I didn't. Did your wife leave? What happened?
Nothing like that.
Nothing like that.
In my defense, I didn't know this was a thing.
It is.
You knew it was enough of a thing to come through the front here. You knew what the fuck
my
was going
Facebook
on.
blew up. I said, I gotta get there. And my kids wanted the roller skates.
They wanted their roller skates, and this is the only
skates.
place they could roller skate.
But yeah, I'll definitely I'll get Cooter on the show sometime. That's good. He got some good stories. We'll spread the love around. I'm sure he could enlighten everybody.
He could. Maybe we should set one up for Cooter and Chaz,
Yeah, there you go.
The Mr. Vacation crew.
Yeah,
when
and you can work
going this weekend again, Mr. Vacation.
We take off Friday afternoon,
Mr. Vacation.
And maybe you can get Bam.
No, he did just invite me though, so I might have to now.
I didn't invite him.
Bam Bam would be good shit.
You're gonna have to help me with Bam Bam though, because I tried to message him before. He just hits the FU button on me, so apparently he ain't a fan of Cletus.
Words never been spoken.
Yeah, he give me the FU button, so you might have to orchestrate that.
No, he'll be all right.
Before we wrap it up, Russ, one last. Russ usually doesn't show up till 10 a.m. at the shop. Is that true?
No, that's not true. So I get up every day at 7:30. And everyone's like, oh, fuck, I start work at 7. So I get up and I get my fucking 6-year-old daughter up and dressed and ready to go and all this shit and take her to fucking school. My brother's like, fuck, I've been to work for an hour. Meanwhile, his old lady's the one that's got to do all that shit. So I get to the work about 8:30. 8:30. Chaz is the same way, I get to work at 8:30.
Don't bring me down like this.
I get to work at 8:30. Then my kid gets off the bus here at 3, and then I have to entertain her fucking ass until we go home at like 6, or if we have karate or blah 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 that night. So
shout out Bob Bachman.
Yeah, I ain't even thought of that. Shout out Bobby B. Bob Bachman.
He's probably sleeping.
Don't
give. There's the rest
out.
of the story, as they would say.
Stealing that goddamn
right
Toyota Corolla.
He was in Hawaii. He's home now.
He's home now.
So Russ, actually,
what were them old things you put on the steering wheel to lock your car? That's what
Bobby. The club.
He's got the club on this 2010 Toyota Corolla that y'all ain't stealing it while he was on vacation.
And as Paul Harvey would say, your wife give us the rest of the story. School drop off is 8:20. You make it by 8:45.
Yeah. And just to think, I just thanked her a little bit ago for
never take it back.
Apparently nothing.
So. Take it back.
She is a pretty girl, though. God damn it.
Flamboyant.
I love
she is flamboyant.
Shout out to the pregnant women.
Oh, Jesus. Shout out to the pregnant women. Yeah.
I love pregnant women.
Oh, my God. Them lashes, them. Oh, look good. Keep it up, pregnant woman.
All right, Russ. So listen, I appreciate your time. I think that's a good place to end it on what Chaz said. I appreciate all you guys for coming on. It was a good show, and let's not wait 16 months. Let's do it again.
Yeah, anytime, man. I appreciate you guys, and we'll see everybody in the spring. No horns up. Don't do that. Just
that's right. We're rocket people
rockets,
here.
Man. Rockets.
We're rockets. Sorry.
No horns up.
Rockets 1-2.
Yeah, 1.2. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So, all right, you guys have a good rest of your evening. I appreciate you coming on, and we'll catch up again soon. And then, like I said, let's get your show going. We need that Russ King show in our lives.
Oh yeah. Don't we ever?
Yeah.
Thank
all right,
you.
fellas. Have a good night. Take it easy.
See ya. Bye.
See ya.